they're going to stick with the T side. I kind of like it. They definitely did look a lot better on their T side than they did on their CT side.
That much is certainly true. GAMERLEGION were able to put out a much stronger showing on their T side of the map, so it might bode better for them to start there again, as the fragging really came through later rather than sooner on the CT side for them, and they were very nearly knocked out of the tournament in the last series. They've had barely any time to recover, and they need to hope that they're not mentally fatigued after that one as well, or this fresh APEKS squad could come in and simply out-aim them.
Yeah, a pretty tough one. Especially, it's fatigue at this point does play a pretty big part. We've seen it time and time again on Malta vibes when we hit those later hours. Some teams just start slowing down significantly, and I definitely do hope that we're not going to get that right now, because APEKS have had their rest. They have had time to recuperate for this series right here. They probably watched the entire series against that GAMERLEGION just played, so they should have all the intel they need, as you said, while also just resting up and possibly doing a little bit of DMing just to get their aim going.
That should be the case, at least. I mean, there's no real reason for them not to. I've been watching those VODs, and I can only assume at the moment that there is some kind of a technical issue delaying us from getting underway, but it looks as though that has been resolved at the moment. I can hear the ticking coming through, but it doesn't look as though we are about to start just yet. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully going to get things underway on this opening map. Our partners over at LootBet actually favouring APEKS here on Mirage over GAMERLEGION based on that hard last fight. We'll have to see whether or not they're right.
Yeah, it's, I would say, because of the odds, that is pretty reasonable. Of course, APEKS slightly better team-wise in general, but the fact that they started on the CT side and just the sheer win percentages they have difference on this map definitely does bode well for GAMERLEGION, gives them a solid chance. They're just crawling towards that B bomb site, have a flash coming through, will blind these APEKS defenders. APEKS gets the opening kill though, and Truth chimes in as well, and they are just getting annihilated right now. Oh my god, Truth with a triple on the side. Marcellus comes in just in time to bail his teammates out, and that, my friends, is the opening round for APEKS.
1-0 up on the Nordic CT side, although APEKS are supposedly stronger on their T side of this map according to win rate, so keep an eye on that one as the first half progresses. GAMERLEGION, they're going to be taking the hard eco here in the second round. They don't want to pressure their economy too early, and they're going to have to hope that they put out a similar performance to the one they did against Illuminar on the CT side, or they could already be in trouble for this series.
But yeah, it's a full eco from GAMERLEGION, and they read it nicely. They're just trying to get themselves some quick kills, and it is a nice opener to try and get yourself a good, solid bank account. Will be a knife coming out from Rusty, catching off Truth, and that is a big turn of events, picking up the AUG as well. Sorry, the M4 as well. Rusty gets a kill. Marcellus tries to chime in, gets a kill through the woodworks, and gets a little bit of help from APEKS. APEKS is now 1 versus 2 against 0, and Mezzi. Bomb goes down. A massively expensive round, especially with the amount that GAMERLEGION put forth into this one. And just a gigantic hole in the APEKS defense. As you can see, APEKS gets the kill through the boxes on site. Doesn't know where the last player is though, but Zero peeks right into him, and they will at least win the round, but at what price?
That was a very close one indeed, and that was the full eco from GAMERLEGION. This is going to be a rough round for APEKS now. The CT economy is not the healthiest anyway. APEKS knows he has to drop a weapon out This buy is going to be dodgy no matter how you look at it. APEKS, they're going to have to hope they can use the utility to try and hold on here, because GAMERLEGION, they look like a firing force on that T side, and they've got all the weapons they could want.
Yep, Era, especially on that op, definitely looking incredibly dangerous. And Marcelius is spraying out towards mid, has absolutely no read on the situation. They just rush him down while his entire magazine is empty, and that is going to be at least traded out. Gruss gets the catch of a player pushing aggressively towards plat. Zero falls. APEKS now in apps will be able to play another aggressive angle, but if they rush him down, that could be a one and done. Will be one peeking in, but Adam dodges the headshot, and now it's all on Dennis on that B bomb side. Dodging flashes will get the opener, but not the closer, and that is Truth rushing towards the side. They are completely not ready for Truth, and again going big on that B bomb side. Guts down the opera, will be able to retrieve that big green stick as well from Marcelius, and somehow APEKS managed to recover that one off of a massive defense from Truth.
That was big for APEKS. They really needed to get through that round, and they have managed to do it as well. They're now looking for the 4-0 lead at the start of the map, and they've got Marcelius, their star player, on that AWP. Let's see what kind of form he is in this evening, and whether he is going to be gracing us with some flashy kills in this round. Truth's going to kick it off with an M4A4 headshot as Dennis looks to aggress up mid and steal another kill away very early on. Gets info on a third player, and Marcelius gets a kill on a fourth. It all goes wrong for GAMERLEGION rather quickly, and if they can steal away a rifle at this point, that would be something at bare minimum. But Adam, with all alone with that Tech 9, can't get anything done. MP9 takes him down, and now GAMERLEGION look to a full gun round.
4-0 at the moment for APEKS. I mean, most of these rounds, well, especially that one round, just looked a little bit too dicey, but they managed to clutch it out, the full eco from GAMERLEGION, and managed to recover 4-0. It doesn't feel like it should be 4-0 at the moment for APEKS with the openings that they've let through for this GAMERLEGION squad, but it definitely does bode well for their defensive side. And last Mezzi gets the opening kill, traded out by Truth again. Oh no, actually Marcelius gets the second one, but so far they've been going pretty big. That's Marcelius' head chopped off, and that A-bomb site has been gifted away. Dennis trying to catch them on the move, will be all on APEKS. The IGL 1 versus 2. Zero has 3 kills. Era has an op and is in Palace at the moment. I think he probably saw the barrel of APEKS' gun stick out right there. It seems, oh no, it does not seem the case. APEKS catches him off guard and Era falls. Now it's all on Zero to try and get that quad kill to secure the win for his team. But APEKS, he is not falling for the bait at the moment. Will eventually fall back because he is rather scared of the positioning of Zero. Just playing with the clock at the moment.
APEKS is going to be able to completely reposition here. Zero, I don't know if he's going to be ready for that one. He is not. Big clutches coming through from APEKS round after round. It seems to swing in GAMERLEGION's favor, but hugely impactful plays are coming through from the CT side and allowing them to earn these rounds. GAMERLEGION, they'd won 10 rounds on their T side against Illuminar. They'd have to win every remaining round in the half to have the same scoreline at the end of this one.
And it's looking very possible at the moment with the way that they're clutching these rounds out. APEKS just absolutely outplaying Zero in that round, the IGL. With the strats, headshot coming out from Rusty, of course, through the wall, so it wasn't a one-hit kill. Had to go for the retap and will get the kill in his team's favor. Push forward. APEKS towards B is trying to hold the line, gets help from Dennis. And it will be the last man standing, Mezzi. A shutdown from GAMERLEGION. from Apex seems to come through. It's these rounds, I mean, this, of course, the ecos have not been as successful, except for that full eco earlier, but mainly this round, this game so far, it should be a lot closer than that we've seen.
Certainly feels like it should be. But Apex, I mean, they really did lay the hurt on Illuminar in the first map of the day, and if Illuminar and GAMERLEGION are equally balanced sides in terms of skill, perhaps we're seeing Apex just lay the hurt on GAMERLEGION now, just as they did to Illuminar earlier in the day. They are the second highest ranked squad in this group, Apex, as well, so they're going to feel as though they deserve a spot in the playoffs out of this group. They'll definitely be unhappy, I feel, with the lack of qualification from today's play, and that is going to be motivating them to carry on forward.
Oof, Mezzy gets the opening kill on Marcelius there. Not really going off on that CT op at the moment. Has been shut down most of these rounds, actually, by getting a little bit too aggressive. And mid has been gifted to the GAMERLEGION squad. 3-man stack towards A from Apex. Still, they have one defender on B, APEKS, but he has been going pretty big so far. The IGL has been looking massive for his team. And Gruss underneath Plateau might get caught out. The flash coming through. Dennis turns his back while he starts to walk in. Truth, however, gets a kill on time and will toss a molly nade to fall back towards CT. Give some time to APEKS to try and rotate in as well and help out his teammates so that they can 2v3 this instead of going for a 1v3 situation. APEKS in connector, waiting for someone to peek into his crosshairs, but that smoke should deter him. I'm saying that, but it's a pretty wide smoke. Luckily enough, Rusty does find the head of APEKS, and it's all on to Truth. Peeks out wide against Era, but Era's not going to whiff that op shot, and that is GAMERLEGION finally getting their first on the board.
Now we have the opportunity to talk about our partners over at Hellcase. If you use those promo codes on your screen, Malta V and Malta V15, you can save more and grab what you deserve. Now, Apex, they had enough cash to bring out the full buy in this round, so they're not going to go quietly into the night just yet. But if GAMERLEGION can surpass this full buy, they should be able to get a freebie on the board with an eco in the next.
Yeah, it's still a tough one. Nonetheless, they do have an op on Dennis, actually. Marcelius not picking up the op this time, just going for the rifle in the AUG. Does not feel very capable at the moment. Caught out a couple too many times and does want a little reset, it seems, is his plan. For the rest, we have GAMERLEGION going for that mid control. 3-man stack of APEKS towards that B bomb site, which might pay off, but at the moment with the positions, it's not really going to result into anything because GAMERLEGION haven't shown their hand just yet, but they are looking to aggress again towards that A bomb site at the moment with 1 palace and 3 out through connector. It does seem that Gruss is going to be caught out if he's not careful, and Truth gets shut down in towards jungle at the moment. Gruss is going to get mollied off, peeks out wide, but burned and shot down. Adam gets himself a double kill in that A-bomb site, and with that, Dennis and Marcelius are going to have to save their weapons into the next because GAMERLEGION broke that Apex economy and have themselves a little bit of cash being built up as well.
This should be momentum gained by the GAMERLEGION T side, but their problem is that they went 10-5 up and still nearly lost on the CT side of the map, and it's going to be very difficult for them to secure a 9-6 scoreline at the end of this half. Even with this 2-round start that they should convert into 3, there's still plenty of chances for Apex to continue scoring on the CT side, and that's a really dangerous factor for GAMERLEGION. They just didn't seem like they could get anything going on the defensive side of this map until the very last stages of the game, and they are not going to have that much runway to work with when Apex switch onto the T side this time.
But they at least keep 2 weapons alive. We are going to see a tactical pause actually coming out from GAMERLEGION right now. So definitely going to take a little bit of a breather, even though they did just win the previous 2 rounds. But they can't give away too much. Of course, as we have said time and time again, this is a very, very crucial map for them to win on the side of GAMERLEGION. If you lose this one, you are looking down the barrel, because Nuke is going to be a rather tough struggle against this APEKS squad, especially if APEKS manage to secure the CT side first.
You're absolutely right there, and I mean, even the CT side of GAMERLEGION there on Nuke didn't look the best. Illuminar just able to walk all over them and have a field day on that T side. Hard eco for APEKS in this one. Up in the hands of Dennis and Marcellius with that AUG. Saved weaponry, of course, being held onto there. A bit interesting to see why it's not being held onto in the other way around, seeing as Marcellius is a primary AWPer and therefore more likely to find those shots. But listen, I'm pretty sure when you're arguing in a TeamSpeak server between who gets the AWP, and Dennis is sat in that server with the APEKS players, I don't think they're going to be arguing with a player of that tenure.
Don't really think that either. They are looking to aggress that bomb a little bit more towards the B side. Rotations are coming through AKES, and Truth are there with Dennis on that op. I mean, the op with the 2 USPs normally don't get too much done, but I think Dennis might get completely shut down here. The rotation from Marcellius is a little bit far away, and they are already on the B bomb site. And Dennis can't find a single target to shoot in time. And with that, round is over. Marcellius should just try and save that AUG into the next. And GAMERLEGION get themselves a quick 3rd on the board. Looking really solid for their... well, not really solid, but definitely looking better than it was initially for their offensive side.
They've put some rounds on the board at bare minimum. Marcellius should be able to hold on to this AUG. I don't think there's enough time, even with the bomb ticking down, for anybody to come and hunt him out of the round, unless they literally all sprinted exactly towards his position with knives out and did not stop from this point forward. That is obviously not going to happen. And so Marcellius will be saving this assault rifle into the next round then. APEKS want to break the streak now if they can. Marcellius can drop a weapon over and keep his AUG if he needs. There's no cash for an AWP, sadly. That could be a bit of a difference maker. If it had been given to Marcellius, it would have survived that last round. Unfortunately, gets taken down. And APEKS, they're going to take a timeout to discuss here. 5 rounds left to play in the half. Or 6 rounds, including this one. And they want to give the timeout just to make sure as many of them go their way as possible.
Yeah, they don't have an op in this round. Marcellius does have that AUG, of course, the long-range rifle. But you want to keep control of what you gained so far. Of course, most of those rounds came down to 1v1 clutches in the end that they've won, but you want to try and turn this one in your favor. Truth and AKES both on double digits already. Dennis, Gross, and Marcellius a little bit behind it, but all in all, still good fragging power on the APEKS squad. GAMERLEGION equal on all footing pretty much on their side, and they are looking to just go for that A execute with aggression coming out towards mid by APEKS. That is the call that they've made to try and catch out the GAMERLEGION team, but GAMERLEGION, they're just gonna go A instead and completely ignore mid. Dennis with that counter flash coming out to try and keep them at bay, and that is going to be Gruss burning down thanks to the molly. Will have to play on site in the sneaky beaky angle. Rusty does spot him out in the end there, and that is going to be a nice catch for Rusty. Marcellius gets a kill onto Mezzi through the smoke. And that is a nice one. Bomb is dropped out in the open, and they need to retrieve it. Utility-wise, they have one smoke, a flash, and an HE grenade on GAMERLEGION. That is it. And there goes their smoke. Marcelius, he has the lineup for that bomb. The moment that they pick it up, well, he tried to go for the spray, but it is going to be Era retrieving the bomb, falling back. But they had no idea that Adam got that big flank in towards CT, went all the way around, and is now boxing Marcelius and APEKS in. APEKS looking for that kill, of course, but will not find it just yet. Nade in to connector. APEKS and Marcelius both get themselves a kill, and with that, they have a plan right here on the side of APEKS. They can definitely still clutch this one out, but again, so many times these rounds of theirs are looking to be clutches. They don't have their weapons in hand right now, and that is a very strange move to make.
Yeah.
Especially if you're rushing so close towards the bomb site and you have no idea where their post plant positions are. That's just an incredibly weird call.
They were just totally convinced that both players were locked in on those connector angles, and perhaps convinced that there was maybe a flank or something coming through. Maybe there was a player holding Palace. Either way, that is a huge oversight to not be aware there could be a player in CT and just sprint around with your knives out. A bit of a thrown away 2-on-2 in that regard, because there was quite a lot of time left on the clock for them to work with. I didn't check if they had kits though, so that might be the reason why they were charging so aggressively into the arms of GAMERLEGION. They're going to try now on the T side to make their way back into the A-bomb site. It's just Eagles trying to defend this time, and well, I said they'd need all of the rest of the half in order to finish this one off a 9-6, and they've already done the majority of that work, it seems, on the GAMERLEGION side.
Yeah, APEKS looking to crumble right now. Tags from APEKS trying to secure a kill, but it is going to be that control and the A bomb site in favor of GAMERLEGION. Next round will be a buy round coming out from APEKS. Do they have an op on Marcelius? Yes, they do have an op on Marcelius, so that is a big plus, but can he actually start getting those op shots in? Did a lot of work with the AUG, but definitely needs those opening kills for his team to try and win rounds again, because they went from a 6-0 scoreline to a 6-5, and GAMERLEGION, they've got money for the rest of their half in their bank account. So whatever happens, you will be up against the full buy round every single time. Dennis, aggressive towards mid, trying to catch him off guard, will get himself one and try and get the fall back in towards connector. Marcelius gets a shot through onto Mezzi as well, and that is the openers that they were looking for towards the B-bomb site. APEKS almost gets rid of Adam, but Truth will have to get the final hit in, and with that, it's all on Rusty, and now all on Era. Has that big green stick, but he is all alone. 1v4, very tough to try and clutch it out. Very unlikely as well.
APEKS switch it up and go for some aggression, and it works out perfectly for them. A minute left on the clock for Era on this AWP, and you generally don't see players saving with this much time left on the clock, as they tend to be paranoid about the moves that the CTs are making against them. So he's going to start walking forward and having a peer into the A bomb site, but nobody is exposing their body from that angle, and Marcelius is waiting for him to peek his legs around that corner. Finally, APEKS break the T-sided streak, but check out that cash on the GAMERLEGION side. 11k for Adam at the start of the round and 14k for Era. Big bucks on the T side. Could keep their buys alive until the end of the half now, as long as they play it right with the cash.
Yep, it is going to be Marcelius getting Dennis again getting aggressive in mid. He did it last round and is doing the exact same thing again. Gets behind the Marcelius with the op, is going to get taken down, but Dennis manages to get the refrag as well and does the exact same thing, and just not red. Molly comes out, Gets Russ off the angle. Gets a
Ooh.
double spray down, though. And Mezzi gets 2 of his own, is now in a 1 versus 2 situation. Doable with 1:20 on the clock. Just needs to make those engagements a 1v1 situation so that he doesn't get double peaked by the Apex players.
The bomb's down in the A-bomb site. That's his real problem. He doesn't have any creativity to work with. He knows they're going to be playing together. And they know that there are a very limited number of areas he can be coming from. With that flashbang deployed, they also know that he has to be in mid at this point, and it's a case of whether he's thrown that flash to bait them into thinking he's gone mid, or whether he's actually committed to it. Looks away at the wrong time, and APEKS swings out for the headshot. 8-5 secured by the CT side of APEKS now. They want to hunt down a dominant a half as possible. There are still 2 rounds to go in the half, ladies and gentlemen, and I think GAMERLEGION can support buys in both of them.
It's a tough decision, tough moment right now for GAMERLEGION because, of course, they are losing rounds again, and their CT side against Illuminate was not as great, so they definitely do need to make something happen right now because, yeah, Apex, I'm not so sure about their T side, but I'm definitely not sure, I'm a lot less sure about GAMERLEGION's CT side on this map.
That's the key factor. We have very recent evidence as to the quality of that CT side for GAMERLEGION, and it is not looking the best. Now, against Mad Lions earlier on, they struggled greatly on the T side of this map, APEKS. They only put up 4 rounds, but against Espada yesterday, it was a strong performance. 9 rounds at the end of the T side for APEKS, so I'd perhaps say that that would be more indicative of their scoreline on this map, or their map potential, than anything else on that T side. This is going to be an interesting engagement now. Dennis, he specs Adam, it looks like, and he just about gets the timing on it. Opening kill found by the CTs, and GAMERLEGION left guessing again.
But Rusty reaggresses inside jungle, and that is something that Dennis did not expect to happen. Will be the kill coming in favor of GAMERLEGION. They're 4 versus 4. They have a very solid amount of map control at the moment as well. Gruss is getting a little bit aggressive towards ramp. Is he gonna check the angle? Yes, he is. Shuts down 0 and a man advantage again for APEKS. Nice read and a nice take indeed. Rusty, of course, could head towards CT. Oh, Mezzi just runs into Truth's bullet. I mean, he just runs right into the barrel and gets his head blown off. And APEKS, I mean, as expected, GAMERLEGION have enough money for force ups for days, but it is the last round of the half, and APEKS might be able to secure double digits in this one as well, with GAMERLEGION, after winning those 5 rounds in a row, just absolutely in disarray.
You're absolutely right. Now they just have AKs left to try and put out a 6th T-side round. Who knows what the shape of their CT side is going to be, but I'm not filled with confidence. That much is for sure. They have mid control at bare minimum, but it's a quadruple A stack actually at the moment from the APEKS side, and they found the opening kill of the round onto 0. Adam's waiting for some re-aggression in mid at the moment, but it's actually Marcelius heading to underpass. Adam will have no preparation of this whatsoever, but a missed shot from Marcelius. That is uncharacteristic. Perhaps Adam moved at the wrong time, but AKs is here in mid now, cleaning it all up. Era can find one. Mezzi gets a late round headshot, and you do have to be careful, as we do know Mezzi has that clutch potential, but it's another 1v2 against Truth and Gruss. This time with the bomb on his back, he has the option to head towards the B site, but obviously has to do a lot of thinking as he has no idea as to that APEKS positioning.
That is the big issue right here. He does have the bomb, but again, a 1v2 clutch needed. They are stacking the B bomb site, so might be able to catch them unaware while he crawls towards A. But with the utility usage there on that B bomb site, he's just going to head out A and should be able to get a free bomb plant in. Very aggressive read from APEKS and just using utility there to try and flush him out, but a little bit of a misread. Gruss will go for the 1v1 engagement against Mezzi, and Mezzi will win that one out. Now it's all on Truth. On short, will he spot out Mezzi? He does spot out Mezzi in time, and that is APEKS securing their 10th. 10-5 double digits, but how is their T side gonna hold up against this GAMERLEGION defense?
Well, that is the question. They only managed to put 4 rounds on their T side against Mad Lions. However, Mad Lions are a very different side to GAMERLEGION. That much is for certain. Let's take a look at the scores on the doors. And again, well, the fragging's less equal at the end of this half than it was at the end of GAMERLEGION's against Illuminar. Truth has really taken the lead on 17 kills for his side and buffed himself up with a nice triple in that last one. GAMERLEGION, they're desperate for the pistol here, or they find themselves at a map disadvantage, and APEKS are the favourites for our partners over at LootBet on this map. Should they convert the pistol, those odds are going to swing even more in their favour.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tough for APEK, for GAMERLEGION, especially considering the next map is going to be Nuke. Of course, we have been bamboozled today by teams stealing each other's map picks, so definitely not out of it. Of course, we might see a reinvigorated. Oh my God, that headshot! Oh, just the double clear up. And this is all over right now. That was so nasty. The strafe headshot with the Glock coming through to get the kill. Now Adam towards CT is...
Oh dear.
Staying hidden. The bomb is down.
Oh no. He doesn't have a kit. But they turn around at the last moment and give him a peek out, but I saw the round flashing before my eyes then. They all walk past him in CT, but this is ridiculous. Christ. I know that it's an important pistol round, but there's no need for those shenanigans. 11-5 up go APEKS on the T side. The force of desperation comes out for GAMERLEGION, and with a loss, they'll be 13-5 down in the map.
But most crucially, Marcel is picking up his trusted PP Bison. Always buys that gun on the next round so he can farm up some cash for the for his op later on. It is a very... I mean, the gun has absolutely no spray pattern. It's almost... ooh, big hit coming through with the scout right there. Nice shot coming in, but... will that be enough to hold this off? The rotations from GAMERLEGION are far away. Truth actually gets tagged as well. Rusty towards short gets a double. Dennis does trade it out, but Eric, can he get those tags coming through? Yes, he does get the kill onto Truth, and it is very doable right now for the GAMERLEGION side. Marcelius tagged as well. 1 deagle tap to his body, and he will fall. Same with the scout. If he's going to peek out wide, that is risky. And then some. Dennis has to do most of the heavy lifting, but he is being tagged heavily as well. And this looks like GAMERLEGION with the flank coming in as well, picking up that AK. Dennis, will he be able to defend it? Does not expect Zero just yet. And now it is Zero shutting him down. GAMERLEGIon managed to clutch this one out with the force buy, and APEKS will be... I mean, they'll be kicking themselves after that one. That should have been their win, but just too slow to push towards that B bomb site really did them in.
And it's all the Era and Rusty show. That double deagle play opens it up, and then the scout just keeps the gaps in that APEKS attack open and cleans it up from a 3-on-3 into a 2-on-3, which is what makes that flank so effective in the man advantage, as the attention from the remaining T can just be drawn away. APEKS pretty much hardy going into this one. A couple of players on deagles, but not much else being purchased as they look to end it quickly and get the guns out in round number 19. GAMERLEGION want to survive this one cleanly to start scoring a streak of their own.
And Zero is trying to get aggressive towards mid. Luckily, Era gets rid of Truth and gets a double inside connector. They are doubling up. And this is, well, at least Dennis gets himself a kill for his team and his troubles. But it is going to be Gamerlegion getting a pretty easy round in their favor. Now the op from Mercedes comes out on the T side. And Apex should be forcing up right behind it. AK's aplenty. Ability rather lackluster, though. And that's where their problems lie on Apex. They can't draw this round out. They need to either draw this round out massively by just not using any utility, or they have to try and force their way into a site very quickly into the round.
Looks like they're going to wait for the Molotov to dissipate and then just charge straight into the A bomb site. Counter smoke coming out from the CTs. They might wait for that one as well, which is going to draw an extra player into A, but not the second just yet, as they've actually committed 3 towards the B site at the start of this round. And Apex, they're just waiting out that smoke right now. That's all they're looking to do, so they can drop smokes of their own and put their flashes through. Out they come, and out come the players as well. Adam behind the triple box, but it's Zero to get the first towards jungle on 19 HP. He survives, and Adam can swing out. Nearly kills his own teammate there, but eventually it's APEKS who converts that frag. Era can open up onto Gruz, and Adam's kill makes it significant. 2 on 3. Favouring the CT side. The lack of utility really felt by Apex there, and I almost feel they rushed that buy out. They're going to try and rotate to the B site, but Apex, this has already been read by their opponents, and they know they need to be careful now. Slinking back into A with 40 seconds left on the clock. I think maybe they should have, instead of hard ecoing, gone for a Deagle armor buy and just waited out until they had the utility to work with.
Yeah, utility is most of these rounds a lot more crucial than a lot of teams give it credit for. Sometimes it's even way more crucial than the actual weapons that they take into the rounds. But we will see them crawling towards that A bomb site. They have a little bit still left. Era Molly on site trying to deny the bomb plan, but he's gonna just molly that smoke, and they are being pushed from different angles at the moment. Akaz needs to win that duel inside connector, finds the head onto Mezzi, and the ramp push coming out from Rusty. Era towards CT is gonna get spotted out, gonna get taken down by Marcelius, and all of a sudden Rusty in a 1v2 situation, and he is completely being spread apart. If he gets the kill onto Akaz, that would be pretty big. Smoke comes out. That should give away the information on what his angle is. And Apex is just going to spray him through. Nice round coming out from Apex in the end, right? I mean, just the recovery was nice.
Yeah.
The opener of that round was a little bit too problematic with not having the utility that you need to take the site. But they managed to win it out in the end.
I mean, you could argue they went for a very long utility bait there, right? They pushed in early. They did end up burning virtually all of those nades. They just had to spend 3 players in order to do it, and then were able to recover it at the very end of the round. Era has a scout this time, but Adam's on a secondary AWP. This could confuse the T side. Something mighty at the moment, especially considering Era is still here, trying to look over the top of that smoke with his scout. Eventually backs away from it, but Gross is only on a deagle. Both of these teams' buys are not perfect at the moment. 2 M4s, an MP9, a scout, and an AWP up against a Deag, 3 AKs, and an AWP. Marcelius and co, they need to be worried about this close range MP9. It's a common angle, one that should be pre-fired by the T side, but all of Gamerlegion are slowly making their way to the A side of the map, as they've got Adam aggressively in the B apartments with that AWP right now, and they know there's nobody pushing that angle.
Yeah, but that means that they have their big, expensive weapon towards the B-bomb side. Zero getting aggressive, jumping through the smoke, will get 1 kill for his troubles, and that is possibly enough for this defense. However, Akaz gets himself the catch onto Era. Oh, Gruss just walking right. Rusty walking right in front of Gruss. It is going to get traded. There is still a player on towards the site, but Adam is all the way on short at the moment with that op in hand. The spray from Dennis completely whiffed. And now it's Truth 1v2. They have the bomb control, and that was just absolutely disastrous. Dennis, that fight, he should have 100% won that one after his opponent completely started whiffing as well.
Big whiff spray down there from the Swedish veteran, and that's the round going the way of GAMERLEGION. Needs to be, I mean, another eco, I think, but Marcelius is on 1500, so his buy is not going to be totally comfortable. Again, I'm not sure whether this one could be a bit tight for APEKS to buy in the next round. We will have to see. It's MP9s and double AWPs for GAMERLEGION now. Not something that APEKS have had to deal with just yet. And the pistols aren't going to be able to do much to counter them, but maybe their weapons in the next round might be. Gruss taken down here. AKs to follow, and we weren't expecting much. Truth can secure one headshot, looks for a second, but it's not possible. The AWPs get saved, the M4 gets saved, and APEKS, thereby again, it is looking rough here. I think this has to be a Deagle armor round. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough utility to work with.
But this is getting to costly territory completely, and can't let them get so close. It sounds very simple, but just these engagements from APEKS, you need the utility, as we've seen in multiple rounds, where they just lack it and completely get obliterated by GAMERLEGION, who are on enough money to buy pretty much everything they want. Adam could even upgrade if he wants to, but of course that would be probably a waste of money. They are going to fully invest on APEKS side, and behind that investment is just going to be, I mean, at least a little bit more utility this time, but the weapons are not the greatest. Truth, is he going to go for the 8K, or is he going to pick up an SMG, maybe a little behind it, so that he has all the utility he needs? I mean, he can buy a smoke and a flash if he buys the 8K, though. Has not decided anything yet. Finally comes through, and there's going to be the smoke and flash. What's the plan going to be? It does seem likely that it's going to be that nade execution coming through, nade coming in, decent amount of damage dealt, but Aka's not dead just yet. Has the Galil, so not the best weapon, but it is enough to kill off Adam if he gets aggressive with the peak. Flashes and smokes come out on towards a nade in return, but they have not forced the push just yet. They're double stacking out underneath plateau. Rotations are far away still from GAMERLEGION, and APEKS might have sold it slightly here. They're going to use the re-smoke coming out and quickly heading out towards that site. I assume this first set of nades was just to try and bait out utility, and there it is going to be the opener. Marcelius gets the kill coming through, but will they expect Zero going up? Gruss does spot him out, getting ahead of himself, does give away the intel that he's still in. Palace drops the bomb down below, which they need to recover. Akas getting aggressive close range, is going to get shut down by Era, but Truth gets the return frag onto Era, and now it is Gruss and Truth to try and clutch this one out. 27 seconds left. They know probably that there's one more towards CT, but they do they expect the second one? Well, they probably spotted out that flash coming through, so they should know that there's one in connector, and he is going to get shut down. That should be a free bomb plant coming in and a retake situation.
Ooh.
But Rusty's going to get his head chopped off. And APEKS, a very good round, using that initial set of utility just to flush out the defensive utility as well.
That was such an important kill coming through from Truth. He's even able to double it up with the headshot at the end. It's another very close round, but APEKS managed to steal it in their favor, and GAMERLEGION, they're going to go for the hard eco here. Zero's got basically nothing. Rusty and Mezzy can't get buys out on the CT side, so they should allow a 14th round to their opponents now, and they're going to try and fight to deny map point in the next one. Gets very scary for GAMERLEGION at that point in this series. This is their pick of Mirage, and we've all seen how well APEKS can play on Nuke, but they've made the classic anti-eco blunder of going mid on Mirage. Thankfully, that Gruss AK is able to recover, but that got very scary for APEKS.
That definitely got incredibly scary. That got way too scary. Way too close for their comfort. but they managed to shut it down nonetheless. 14-9 in favor of Apex and GAMERLEGION. They need this win. They need this map, actually, and that is where the problems really do lie. They need this entire map secured in their favor. There's going to be GAMERLEGION defense starting aggressively towards mid, but it's not going to result in anything because Apex have not pushed anyone in towards that mid area. Dennis, it seems to have a little bit of mic issues there. Maybe the cable annoying him a little bit. But towards A, we actually see AKAZ getting aggressive and really pushing forward. Mid control has been gifted away, but the bomb is actually heading towards B. And that is going to be read clearly here by the GAMERLEGION squad. This is just an absolute devastation coming out. Luckily, Crust does get a double kill there. Molly flies in. Adam is going to get flanked from jungle, but Rusty, will he get himself a kill? Spots out Marcelius. Will get the catch on Marcelius. Now he just needs to get rid of Crust, especially because Truth still has to push through towards Market. And for some reason, Adam, even after being shot from behind, has no idea that he's right there. Well, that was a double kill for Truth right there. 27 kills to his name. Looking really solid at the moment.
Yeah.
That was just questionable. How did he... What? He should have definitely known that the player was that just shot at him was coming behind him.
I think maybe when the shots came in, they were really far away from the bomb site, and Adam was more worried about a push coming through from the front than he was from behind. Maybe he thought as well the player could have gone around short because it was a long while until he got fired upon. Either way, it's just a bit of a messy scenario for GAMERLEGION, and Truth's found the opener again in this round. There goes Adam in the A bomb site as Truth doubles up. Marcelius gets himself a kill in what is looking very likely to be the last one of Mirage. Apex hunting down that 16-9 scoreline, and it'd take 2 special scout plays to stop them. Mezzi will follow up on the tag with 1 kill on to Dennis, but he has to go in and defuse that bomb. There is a flank on the way from mid. Shot missed by the Marcelius AWP, but Mezzi on the scout. He's going to try and go aggressive and fight that AWP, actually. Thinks he can win the engagement. Has secured that kill. Has secured the kill in window. This could be the most ridiculous clutch effort anyone has ever seen. AK back out, sprinting towards the bomb site. 1-on-2, but Gruss can shut it down before it gets too crazy. 16-9. The final scoreline of Mirage then, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Apex who are heading over onto Nuke with a 1-map advantage in their back pocket. GAMERLEGION now, they are in trouble in the series, as we know Apex are very strong on Nuke, and they had a nightmarish map against Illumina on Nuke earlier on today. Find out if GAMERLEGION can stay alive after this quick break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. It was decently competitive from GAMERLEGION, but not as good as their performance against Illuminar. That means APEKS take the opening map of the series and go 1-0 in this decider match. And now we go on to their map pick of Nuke, a map that they defeated Illuminar 16-6, and a map that Illuminar then defeated GAMERLEGION in very similar fashion. This does not bode well for GAMERLEGION's chances of survival in the series, and they are going to need an absolutely massive performance in order to win their opponent's map pick. My name is Protalis, and talking you through the action again with me is DK Truman. What are your thoughts ahead of this one?
Well, I mean, originally we said that APEKS, if they win that opening map, they should take it 2-0, and I stand by my prediction. I think that they should be able to shut down GAMERLEGION on the second map. Era has done a decent job on the opping in the previous map, but just nowhere near where he needs to be. Marselius was kind of silent, luckily enough, but Marselius usually does tend to wake up a lot on Nuke. It seems to be his best map overall, and definitely expecting him to be that in this case as well, where that CT op does reign supreme and does look incredibly deadly. And yeah, I do think that with the Battle of the Oppers coming through later on, it should be the win for APEKS. But as you can see, between the riflers, of course, Messi being the highest rated player on the GAMERLEGION side, having a pretty decent showing, but nowhere near truth. 29-14, absolute beast mode in that first map. And we'll have to wait and see if he can continue that one on Nuke.
Yeah, that is going to be the key factor. It really is firepower for GAMERLEGION. That's the problem up against this APEKS side, is that there are a lot of players in this roster who can turn up. Even AKES as the in-game leader can really show up and start fragging. He was one of the top fraggers for APEKS in the first half of Mirage at bare minimum. So really, that's the dangerous factor, is that at any point these APEKS players can come online and start dominating, and we've not really seen that too much from the GAMERLEGION side. We saw it from Messi on the opening map of Vertigo against Illuminar, but I mean, over on that Mirage map, even though they just managed to edge it out, it was really a team effort in terms of kills, and I worry a little bit in terms of the firepower heading forward. We saw that there was no clear-cut AWPing solution for GAMERLEGION on Nuke. Era wasn't really having the impact he was looking for against the Illuminar squad, and Marselius, we already know, is a stronger AWPer heading into this map. So really, all signs point to devastation for GAMERLEGION on this map. We can only hope for them that they've taken the time in between this iteration of Nuke and the last to try and straighten things out a little bit. It's been a very long day for them, and they need to avoid elimination in this map now.
Well, that is going to be pretty much what they're going for. Of course, loser gets eliminated, and the winner of this series goes on to play in the playoffs, where APEKS were last week, and I think they beat Gambit Youngsters there, so had a pretty good run themselves. Got taken out by Espada, who were eventually the finalists, so that is why slightly I give the edge to APEKS, just because they have had a very good performance as of late, whereas GAMERLEGION have been struggling, losing against a lot of teams in a row. Budapest 5, Mad Lions, of course, is not really that problematic. Lost against APEKS as well on Nuke previously. Galaxy Racer before that, just not having their stride at the moment. But it seems that we are about to go live to the knife round, where it is going to be incredibly crucial for GAMERLEGION to start off on that CT side, because their T side definitely does need some extra work in the near future. And this knife round is going to be pretty crucial for them. One of the most crucial knife rounds maps to have a good start on is Nuke. Of course, the CT side just so much more advantageous because of the utility usage you need on that T side.
And while Apex are a strong nuke team, they're not exactly a strong T-sided nuke team. They'd really like to start on the CT side if possible, and it doesn't look like they're going to get that option. GAMERLEGION have been able to shut them down, and they are going to get to start on that CT half then. They've started on the CT half against Illuminar, and that was disastrous, but Illuminar are one of those teams who like to upset you on the T side of nuke. They are rather rare, but they do exist. And that perhaps was a factor that contributed to the GAMERLEGION heavy defeat there. You're absolutely right in that these teams played against each other just under 2 weeks ago on Nuke, and that was a 16-13 victory in favor of Apex. In that matchup, it was GAMERLEGION who started off on the CT side, and they were able to put 10 rounds on the board. They then turned around and won the next 3 of their T side and lost every consecutive T side round. So really, GAMERLEGION, they're going to need to have a big start to the CT side here, because it does not look good for them on the T side of this map.
Yep, they are gonna be on that CT side on GAMERLEGION, so that is at least a plus for them. But yeah, how are they gonna be able to perform? Are they gonna be able to shut down this Apex squad on this one and take it to Overpass, where they actually do have a solid chance at taking the series in general? Or are they still gonna lose on their CT side? It is a pretty decent score. I mean, the T side of Apex, statistically at least, 45% win rate per T round, but their CT side 60%. So even if they manage to get, I would say, if they get 6 rounds on Apex, they're gonna be golden. If they get 5 rounds, I still think that it's even 4 rounds. If they manage to win the pistol, I can still see them win it against GAMERLEGION. They need to go big on the CT side.
The last time Apex played against GAMERLEGION, 5 was more than enough for them to work with, as they didn't drop a single CT round. Now, you can't expect the CT performance that's that strong from Apex in this map. There's no way you can justify banking on a team winning every single round in a half, but it does indicate that it is going to go well for them on the CT side, especially when you look at the fact that Mirage was GAMERLEGION's pick and they just got relatively manhandled on it. So it is going to be a tough one for the GAMERLEGION sides. It looks like the IGL Adam is disconnected at the moment and is having some connection issues. We're just going to wait for him to rejoin the server before we can get the matchup underway. And I suppose this is probably more useful for the T side, starting on the offensive side of things. This time that you know you're going to be starting on the T side, you can use to talk about where you want to attack, what strategies you want to utilize, and how much pace you want to bring into these upcoming rounds. Whereas GAMERLEGIon are sort of just sitting, waiting, and guessing what's going to come at them.
Yeah, it does happen every once in a while. Everywhere you live, you can have some internet issues, it seems. Probably just a crash or something along those lines. I mean, even the UK doesn't have the best net in the world, so we're just gonna watch the players duke it out in a little bit of a warm-up. See who is feeling that aim at the moment before we head into the actual game.
And it looks as though we do have confirmation that it is Adam just having some game lag at the moment rather than some internet lag. So I think he's trying to mess around with some computer settings to try and fix that. And that could indicate that it's a problem he's been experiencing all day, because his fragging in the series against Illuminar really wasn't great either.
I mean, it's to be expected from the IGL. It's not like APEKS normally pulls out those numbers, but definitely has had a massive couple of rounds today and has had a solid performance so far. It's normally you would expect him a little bit lower on that board, but he definitely has been feeling it, especially tactic wise when he went for that flank play to on Mirage, where he rushed from connector all the way to CT. Those are the intelligent plays that IGLs tend to have, especially if they're in a 1v1 situation. Dennis seeming
smart.
to want to leave his team behind and join the
No, it's actually really smart. What he's done there in the warm-up time is switch over to the CTs and gone and sat in garage firing at his teammates and basically let APEKS have some free aim practice, strafing out and firing into that garage position, practice their AK shots into hitting those players. So a little cheeky bit of warm-up usage there Dennis has found at the start of the map. We'll have to see whether it's impactful to their aim or not, as the game is finally ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. GAMERLEGION versus APEKS. We're waiting for the odds from our partners over at LootBet. They indicate that APEKS are the favourites on this map as well. And while GAMERLEGION are starting on the CT side, they're going to need 11 rounds at minimum, I think we both agree, in order to find success on this map.
Yeah, I think that the odds are pretty doable right there. Of course, if they would start on the CT side, I would give them like 1.3 odds. But on the T side, especially with Mezzi getting that opening frag and the second one to boot, that is a pretty damn nice start for GAMERLEGION. Mezzi, of course, the highest rated player on this GAMERLEGION squad, chiming in with a couple of very important kills. Adam going for the dualies, but luckily enough, Mezzi does it all before those dualies have to find any real contact. Bomb is dropped out towards red, and that is already APEKS looking like their opening pistol round is going to be lost.
That is the real problem, that bomb drop. They have to go out and recover it now. Straight into the crosshairs of the awaiting GAMERLEGION pistolers. Gonna look to fire out. Mezzi has just missed out on that kill onto Gruss. That's the bomb going back into lobby now, but Era's taken down Marcelius and on 5 HP. This would have to be nothing short of a miracle from Gruss. He's going to try and walk into A through the hut, and he should quite quickly be cleaned away. Era gets his second kill of the round. It's a triple from Mezzi and the pistol to GAMERLEGION. APEKS, are they going to force up or are they going to save without a bomb plant? It looks as though they're going to go for the save call here and try and bring some rifles into round number 3.
Yeah, that's normally what you expect. It will be a little bit weaker on utility, especially if they buy a couple of P250s into this one, but it should be a straight up defense from GAMERLEGION. Doubt that they will make a big mistake, but I hear typing coming through, so it seems that we're going to have a reset of the round. No damage has been dealt, so of course a reset should come in.
Some more technical issues plaguing us at the start of this matchup. Hopefully these ones aren't going to take too long to resolve, as you hate to see them happen in the later games as well. The players are already fatigued. They already just want to be finishing off the matches for the evening and playing as much as they possibly can, and these continued tech pauses, they are going to take their toll eventually. They are going to start to fatigue players. They are going to perhaps start to make certain players a bit more jumpy, especially perhaps if this APEKS side is feeling as though this is their series to win on Nuke. They might get a bit overconfident here, a bit over-aggressive, having had to wait so long for the match to actually begin.
I have just been informed that it seems that Rusty is actually the IGL of GAMERLEGION instead of Adam, so that is
one's interesting.
A little bit of intel there, right, for you. So hopefully, well, that puts everything into a different perspective, because Rusty has actually been fragging pretty nicely so far.
And that's, I don't know whether that is a recent change or not. According to Liquipedia, they have Adam listed as the team's captain there. Now, obviously, you've got no way of knowing when they do switch roles in terms of the IGLs, excuse me, but that does make sense from Rusty's perspective, being the in-game leader of this roster. He has got a lot of experience, but traditionally as an entry fragger, which is an in-game leadership style that can be successful, you're IGL is normally your entry player anyway in certain teams. If you have a low fragging IGL, you just send them in to get information and then try and relay that to the rest of the team and hope the better aimers can come in at the back and go for the refrag there. And if you have a player who's good at aiming on the entry fragging position, such as Rusty is, that can be really helpful as the IGL. He can go in, get all the information himself, and there's a decent chance he'll get the kills to back it up. It can certainly work out, but you're absolutely right. It does not excuse Adam's poor performances here.
It definitely does not. Of course, I normally don't think that, you know, poor performance, unless you're Kerrigan. It should never excuse it, but it is going to be a pretty quick rush towards ramp, using that timing from the long pause to try and get that quick rush in. The flank coming out, though. Going down towards B, and Booth actually might still go for the old switcheroo, run up towards A and get the bomb plant in there. The spray, dodges the bullets right at the end. Could possibly get the bomb plant in time. Should be pretty big if he does. But he here steps towards heaven and will get shut down in the end. So the round will go to GAMERLEGION. 2 players killed. No bomb plant, unfortunately, coming through for APEKS. But they will pick up them AKs. And they will start to try and take that advantage in this game.
That is going to be the goal. But the APEKS T side of Nuke, it really isn't particularly strong. They are a team that are solely focused on their defensive side of the map. And I mean, even against GAMERLEGION, even though they probably only need to put 5 rounds on the board, I still say that's going to be a difficult task for them to accomplish based on what I've seen of APEKS's T-sides on this map previously. Mezzy tagged down early as he drops into the vents. Not normally a phrase you hear when talking about a CT-sided player, but that is how this round has developed so far, and it's only passive ramp room control from GAMERLEGION. That's going to let Marcelius get quite far out here, and actually the AWP is going to swing into the angle potentially late. 2 players already down the ramp before that AWP is going to peak, and a flashbang deployed means it is not going to be finding any damage. Era scoping around with the weapon at the moment as Adam looking to hold true from control room. Fires off some shots, but they don't connect, and he doesn't want the repeat either. The bomb being committed to by Truth, and eventually the plant secured. No utility left pretty much, though, for the T side, and they've lost 2 players in quick succession. They get 1 kill back on Marcelius at bare minimum, but now it's a 3v4 scenario, and APEKS are desperate for control. The CTs are rushing back in. There's 1 flashbang in the perfect angle. That's going to blind a lot of them, and as they rush around the corner, it looks to be cleaned up until Rusty finds those all-important MP9 frags, and the AWP shot lands from Eero, and that is the round going the way of GAMERLEGION. The kit is in hand, and it's eventually come through from Rusty. I don't know if he's left it slightly too long. He is going to be able to secure it and get GAMERLEGION their third, but that was a close one from APEKS.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that, of course, Era with the AWP just dodged underneath the bullets pretty much. That duck saved his life right there, and with that, GAMERLEGION get their third on the board. Another full buy coming out from APEKS. They have barely any utility, though, but of course, they got the bomb plant with the round loss bonus. They do feel that they can turn this one in their favor. They're gonna go outside, but the double nades doing so much damage right there. They spot a player out towards the back of garage and are already down secret, heading towards that B site. And how fast are the rotations going to be? Last round, they tried to be pretty sneaky with Dennis, but unfortunately, it did not pay off at all. We have Era down below towards B, and Marcelius hasn't made the cross yet. Era is going to spot 1 player out, gets the kill onto Crust, peek out wide coming through, but Era, before he fades away, gets himself his 2nd of the round, and 8 kills so far for the Opper of GAMERLEGION, looking like a massive start on their side.
Era really has woken up on Nuke, and that is such an important factor for the GAMERLEGION side, but he's not ready for that peek from Dennis, and now there'll be bomb sites wide open. That's so smart from Dennis, leaving the bomb alone and just creeping in to kill the AWPer. He waits for picking up the bomb as well in case of sound cue being given away, and now he's waiting for further CT aggression before he plants. He doesn't want to wait too long though, or he's going to miss his opportunity, and actually they're going to go for another stairs clear. This is not something they needed to do. They're over paranoid a little bit, and it could end up putting them in a position where the CTs are more likely to win a round. It looks like they're going to try and go up the ramp, maybe. There's 15 seconds left on the clock now. They could have planted nearly 30 seconds ago on this APEKS side, and now there's a real denial possibility from Adam and his teammate. Thankfully, it's been shut down by Truth, but Zero's still going to swing around the corner and look for the denial. Does get the kill on Truth, and leaves Dennis is a one-on-one scenario. He has been able to back away. Zero does not have a smoke to work with, just the single flashbang. Dennis in a one-on-one would need a triple kill to finish off this round. Oh, it's messy, so messy from Dennis, but on the repeat, he finishes it off and gives APEKS their first.
No, Mezzi's on GAMERLEGION. Sorry, I just couldn't let that one slide. But yeah, it's nice recovery there. Era, with that big play coming out from him, could not win the round for his team. And as you said, a little bit weak right there. Dennis has had on Mirage that one spray that also didn't convert. It's a little bit problematic, maybe just not feeling it at the moment as well as he should, but eventually does clutch it out for his team. 3-1, good round from APEKS, good recovery from APEKS especially, and GAMERLEGION, they do not have the greatest buy for the defensive side. Era does have an op, but that is pretty much it. Rusty with an M4, but they shouldn't be able to get that much behind it. Maybe Zero going for the SMG, Mezzi probably a Deagle, and let's see if they can turn this one in their favor. Of course, Era absolutely stepping up to the plate on the CT side of Nuke, finally getting himself that op. Feeling that we have been missing so far today from him.
Oh, Gross has been spotted in the corner, so he's not long for this world. Yet to kill so far on Nuke, but his teammate has been able to find the trade. Rusty looking for the spam through, but actually he realizes if he swings too far, Truth's just going to use that exact same gap to kill me. So he aggresses instead and finds the frag through the dissipated smoke and prompts APEKS now to walk forward and look for some aggression. But the resmoke is going to deny it, for, at least for the moment. Marcelius lands that opening shot though. APEKS around the corner has dealt damage to Zero. Dennis has followed it up with a shot to the back of the brain. Era needs to drop a smoke to protect himself, and Adam's only got a Deagle to work with. Pushing in through the A ramp. The bomb still hasn't been planted though for APEKS. They like to spend a lot of time clearing these bomb sites before the bomb goes down, and that's left Adam with enough time to creep in here and make a huge mess. Dennis thankfully has spotted out the angle, and that's going to leave it in a 1-on-2 for Era needing to clutch now. Dennis should be able to get the plant. He's actually going to bait out the peek from Era. Very risky, as is that no-scope attempt from Era. He can't land it, and that's the second round on the board for APEKS.
And with that, it should be an eco coming out for GAMERLEGION, and that is problem territory altogether right now, because APEKS are starting to win some rounds. We said 5 rounds is enough for them, and I stand by my point there. APEKS just need to make 5 rounds and then they should be okay. If they make 6, it should be great. If they get 7, I think GAMERLEGION are in too much of a problem, so they need to shut down this momentum that APEKS is growing I mean in the next round, not right here right now, because it's going to be pretty tough with USBs. They are stacking towards A, see if they can get anything done, but unless these are only headshots.
Ooh.
Oh, Aka's taking a lot of damage there, but Gruss peeks out wide. It is going to be a couple of dinks coming out. Oh my god,
wow.
The dinks are coming in heavily. Dennis gets dinked as well. The last man standing, luckily Dennis gets the last 3 players, but those USB dinks were absolutely deadly.
That's why you don't walk into stacked sites, guys. Even when your opponents are fully ecoed, headshots deal damage regardless of what weapon is equipped. GAMERLEGION very nearly upset the APEKS squad there. That's 3 rounds on the board, though, and we're saying APEKS probably only need 5 to set themselves up for a decent CT half. They're going to want to continue their streak to try and get that to happen, because Era can't pick up an AWP in this round. So you've got a decent chance of taking those fights at range.
You definitely do have those long-range engagement possibilities if Era has the AUG, at least. It's a slight replacement for the AWP that they does not have. It is going to be the boost, but Marcellus, it does put you in a very precarious position, and does spot the head. Oh my god, what a headshot from Marcellus to get rid of Era. Opening kill coming in favor of APEKS. Absolute beauty of a shot. And the boost on top of red did pay off. Mezzi down below, though, will try and defend the B-bomb site, looking for a good angle to try and get as much damage in as he possibly can, but they're not committing to that B-bomb site just yet.
I much prefer the slow play on the T side of Nuke to the fast play. You can try and force your advantages, burn out that CT utility. Just don't leave it too long before you actually push. You need enough time to plant the bomb still. APEKS takes down Zero as the first man, and Rusty gets trampled by Dennis as the second. Mezzi and Adam the only men who can reply, and Mezzi needs to explode up through some vents in order to do it. He doesn't want to give that a go at all, and decides to back away as Adam is going to sit in ramp room and wait for Mezzi to come all the way around from hell and try and support him on the crossfire. He'd actually have to cross Mini in order to accomplish that, so he's going to stick in secret on his own and remain isolated. His teammate taken down on the M4, and now he's being hunted down in secret here by Truth, sprinting around outside and trying to clear the angles. There's only one left for Truth to check Mezzi, and I think he might know it. Swings around the corner but can't land the shots. 4 consecutive T-sided round for APEKS, and probably an eco on the way for GAMERLEGION.
That is not the greatest performance so far from GAMERLEGION CT side.
And now we get to talk about our partners over at Hellcase, the biggest and most well-known case opening website with almost 100 cases, the updated case battle, upgraded, dozens of giveaways per month, and loads more unique features. It is just the pistols, not even any body armor really for GAMERLEGION other than Rusty. Should be a fairly easy cleanup for the AKs, but they struggled against USPs.
Yep, let's see if their aggression will pay off. Adam does get the opening kill. That means an AK is at least retrievable for them, but they're just going to rush towards the B-bomb side, get the plant in, and hope that GAMERLEGION is not ready for that defense just yet, because of course their aggression outside does tell a story, though the squeaky door is going to be opened upstairs, and they thought that it was down below. Bomb plant coming out from Gruss will be a safe plant indeed, but now it's going to be the retake situation for GAMERLEGION. No kit, of course, and barely any weaponry to speak of, but they're just going to use those pistols to try and make something happen. They're going to slow walk through the smoke, and that's problematic. That's very problematic. They're looking very tagged right now, and it's all on Truth. 1v4. Are you actually kidding me right now? The incredibly ridiculously weak weaponry does not get it done, but they will at least be able to save 2 AKs and an op into the next. They wipe them from the face of the earth, and that, my friends, is even why on an eco round, don't be a loser, buy a diffuser.
A little bit of a rough one there for sure, but I mean, you have to credit GAMERLEGION for that. They did just successfully retake the bomb site with 1 AK and 4 pistols and only a single player on body armor. Credit where it's due. It definitely has to go across to the GAMERLEGION side there. Now they have the full guns out and a lot of AKs on that CT side as well. They're always a dangerous prospect to be up against when defenders are wheeling them. And Era, he's been caught out of the angle. Somehow he's still alive though. AKs eventually clears him away, but he does get a reactionary shot onto Dennis. Marcellus is fast enough for one of his own. Mezzi waits for the right time to explode out and drops the bomb. patience and a good trigger discipline. That has turned the round in GAMERLEGION's favor, but Marcelius is so fast on this AWP. He takes down Adam, and they know Mezzy's tucked into garage. Zero has to come out to try and bail out his teammate. He's going to look through the smoke to try and accomplish that, and he explodes out of it, turns around, and it's such a close one. Mezzy eventually wins it in the one-on-one scenario, but that is an incredibly closely fought round.
That is incredibly close, and that was way too close for comfort, all things considered. But they will manage to take that one on GAMERLEGION's side. It cost them almost all of their weaponry, but they, thanks to that previous round where the pistols almost did everything for them, they did break that economy of APEKS into a pulp, and now they're going to be forced up to buy a rather weaker buy. They still have one behind it, but 3 AKs, 2 pistols is not what you want to see happen for your team at the moment. They do definitely have a chance to take this one, of course, but it is rather problematic for them.
I think maybe going for a Deagle armor buy would have been the better choice here, and then getting the weapons out in the next, because the odds are you're going to do some economic damage with those Deagles, especially if you've got players like Dennis turning up and fragging on this map. And if nothing else, that's just going to stretch out the CT economy a little bit more for when your buy actually has to come through. If you do it in this order, you have to fight the fully upgraded buy and then take your pistol armor round against a CT side that's trying to consolidate its economy at that point in time. So, while I don't agree with the economic decision here in round 10, APEKS are already on the 5 rounds they needed to beat GAMERLEGION last time. Everything they're looked for from here on out, they probably feel is just a bonus, and the GAMERLEGION squad, they are going to need to secure these rounds to keep themselves in the series.
To keep themselves in the series, indeed. They need to make sure that, of course, GAMERLEGION, that they don't lose this one. Otherwise, APEKS might run away with this half on their T side. Yeah, 5 rounds have already been achieved by APEKS, so you're already looking at a little bit of a problem. But Adam does get the opening kill onto Gross. That definitely does bode well for the GAMERLEGION defense. Peek out wide from Truth. Didn't wait long enough for the molly to force the player off of vents, second vents at least. He knows one player is down below vents, and Dennis 1v3 will not expect a wide peak to come out from Rusty, and that is going to be GAMERLEGION tying it up again, 5-5. But APEKS's money situation is in absolute disarray. They will have to eco this one and then have a decent buy into the next.
Yeah, I think with their cash in this position and how late we are in the half, the best scoreline that APEKS can hope for now is maybe 8 rounds. Maybe. The T-side economy, you really don't want it to be bottoming out now, and with the force buy they made in the last round, it should let GAMERLEGION get through quite a few with a lot of players alive here, which is going to be a buff to their cash in turn. Already 2 Ts falling in the round. The rest of the pistols just sitting behind smokes and waiting, and they're not even safe behind those smokes because they're not walls. And Truth, he is found through it. Pushing out is AKES, hoping for that quick kill, but Rusty denies him, and Dennis on the Deagle now is going to hope just to shed some blood for his side at the end of this round. Victory near impossible, but as he hears someone stomping down the vents, it's a close range target for his crosshairs. He's going to try and get out to plant in the B bomb site. Bonus cash secured at bare minimum, looking for a late round frag, but can't quite get that. Plant out of the eco is always decent, but it's APEKS looking ahead to the next gun round.
Yep. It's at least a little bit gained, and you will have pretty much all the utility you want on the APEKS side. As we said, you know, 1, maybe 2 rounds, and they are going to be just fine. But 5 is doable, but not the greatest for the APEKS squad, especially not if Era starts waking up on that op, as he has done so far on the CT side. CT, of course, doesn't really mean that you will have the full-on usage of it on the T side either. but it definitely does show that you feel a lot more comfortable. Nade's going to be a little bit late. They're already down Secret, and they're heading towards Mezzi quickly. Mezzi needs to peek in, gets the opening kill, but will get traded out by Marcellius. 4 versus 4, and CT's rotating towards the B bomb side, but Marcellius heard Adam step around, and he's gonna go for the peek in to see if he can catch out Adam. Wins that duel, knows that there's a player towards ramp because Era just got himself a kill, and Rusty and Truth are flanking it as well, but Rusty gets the kill onto Truth nicely there. I actually didn't even notice that he was flanking the flanker.
Yeah, that's an important kill to get too.
That could have been the round all over already. The jump peek comes out. Should note that Gruss is close range, but how close range is he exactly? Do they expect him to be right in front of them? Oh, that shot. Opening kill comes in his favor. They know he's right there. And he's going to jiggle peek around. Oh my god, how does Gruss get Rusty? A big triple right there. He's only on 4 kills, but those 3 were massive for Apex. And I mean, how does Rusty not get the kill there? This one already becomes a little bit dangerous. This one right here is incredibly dangerous, but luckily it is Zero, the one that peeks into him. But right now, right there, that should have been a kill for Rusty, all things considered. Great flick to the head and a nice shutdown. Apex get themselves their 6th.
They keep the scoreline tied up in the first half. That's very good news for the T side on Nuke. They just run straight out into A. Shot missed up in heaven, but Dennis has overwhelmed Rusty and upgraded in the low ground. Nade comes out, but it can't clear Dennis away as the Molotovs come through as well. It's a 4-on-5 retake needed for GAMERLEGION into the A bomb site, and their cash isn't exactly on easy street at the moment. They might even decide to back out of this one and just save the 4 rifles.
That is, of course, if Apex don't send anyone outside. Saving 4 rifles would be nice. They're going to stack up together in the CT spawn, and honestly, don't really think that they'll be able to. They will lose a single gun here. But Apex, 7 rounds on their T side. Quick just eruption out towards that A bomb site, and they were completely unprepared on the GAMERLEGION side. Nice quick move. Of course, we do see a lot of teams try that and then they get shut down, but it is pretty much a 50-50 play in that regard. That, yeah, you can have the aim on your side, but if they are expecting it, they can shut you down quickly.
Apex in the lead now in the second last round of the first half. They are the team who call the timeout to make GAMERLEGION sweat a little bit at the end of the half. And I would be sweating if I was on that GAMERLEGION side. They put barely any T-sided rounds on the board against Illuminat. 3 in total is what they managed before they were put to bed by the Polish squad. And that really does not bode well for them whatsoever. The last time they played against Apex, they were able to put up 10 rounds on the CT side and still lost after only picking up 3 T-sided rounds. Very dangerous territory for GAMERLEGION right now. Remember, they face elimination from this Malta Vibes Cup with a loss here on Nuke. They must be feeling the pressure at the moment.
Yeah, the pressure is on right now. They do, of course, thanks to that save, have all the weapons that they need, but it seems we're at a technical pause at the moment. Don't know what is going on exactly, but I would assume just a TeamSpeak issue or something along those lines. Should be back momentarily, of course.
It normally is the TeamSpeak issues that are problematic, although I suppose I have seen a fair load of just generalized internet problems. Some problems with loss here and there as well. Server generalized issues. There's so many points of failure with technology. I think that's the issue and why you see so many errors. It's not as though it's just, you know, one cable plugged straight from Valve's PCs into the players' PCs and it's long enough to span from America to Europe. It is a little bit like that. There's just loads of stations in between and loads of little things that can all mess up and go wrong, which is what leads to these technical problems occurring in the map. And oh dear, this is not good at all. We actually have a reasoning confirmed for this technical pause. Dennis has spilt some water all over his PC. Hopefully it's not on the computer itself, perhaps just on the desk, but that is why we're taking the pause at the moment.
Yeah, never drink in game, everyone. Actually, do drink water, especially in the previous heat wave that we had. And it seems that we are back in action. Of course, might just have to swap out a keyboard or something along those lines, or his desk is just actually wet and just quickly getting himself a towel. But we are back in it. Hopefully that did not get rid of the concentration that Apex has. Same for GAMERLEGION. Hopefully it did not put them back into a rut, because they need these next couple of rounds. We have a very aggressive player in Mezzi trying to make a play towards Secret outside. Will he be able to get himself a kill? Does get a catch onto APEKS and will still play around that area. Of course, the nades coming in would have finished them off, but Marselius gets the refrag for his team, gets its kill in return. Rusty gets caught out. Marselius does know that area is nearby, and that's a bullet in the face. They know that Mezzi is probably still on that secret area. Shot gets missed from Marselius. It's going to go for the aggressive repeat and does manage to get himself the third of the round. Fourth as well. Absolute beast. Never mind. That pause did him perfect. 8-6 and the half won by APEKS.
Marselius, the mentalist, gets some crazy frags in that round. 4 of them to boot, putting him 1 away from Dennis's scoreline now and putting APEKS with a guaranteed round advantage at the end of the T side of Nuke. Double AWPs are coming out for GAMERLEGION, but however you look at this now, they are in seriously hot water in the series. Heading on to the T side, their pistol round win percentage is fairly high, up at 60% here on Nuke for GAMERLEGION, so there's a decent chance they will get the second pistol, but they're still going to be on the T side of this map against opponents who dominated them on their own pick. Era's found the second frag of this round though, and with each kill that goes the way of GL, 8-7 becomes more and more likely.
Yeah, it does become more and more likely and more dangerous the closer we get. They need this last one. 7. I mean, it's a little bit weak at the moment, but getting anything done on your CT side would be much appreciated. 6 to 9 and then 9 for APEKS would just be ridiculously problematic. Adam with the op did get himself a kill. So did Era. Does swap towards that AK, and now we do have a push towards that B bomb site, waiting for the utility to be over. But AKaz, he's gonna have to deal with 3 players who are crawling in, but does not find the lineup, and that is all on Marselius. 1 versus 3 with the op. Barely misses the face, so incredibly close, but will not be able to get the kill, and that is going to be 0, going for the full stick defuse. 10 seconds, and GAMERLEGION at least managed to win the last of the half.
It's 8-7 at the end of the first half then, ladies and gents. Slightly better than the 9-6 scoreline that the half ended against Illumina on this map. But the difference between APEKS and Illumina are this. APEKS are stronger on the CT side and Illumina are stronger on the T side, and APEKS still managed to get that round advantage at the end of the half. Marselius definitely started waking up towards the end there, and to be honest with you, that's important. Gruss has been having a really quiet game, and he's a player who sometimes needs to be a key part of the fragging apparatus for the APEKS side. So it's very good that Dennis and Marselius started fragging later on in the round. And on their CT side, they're going to look to close this out in 2 maps.
It's looking very possible. GAMERLEGION, however, they've got some strats up their sleeves. They're going to go for the heavy utility push, I guess, towards the A bomb site and just explode out. The molly plus double flashes will get them off the angle, and it is going to be the bomb site gifted away, but they do have a diffuse kit, 2 flashes in return on APEKS, and the opening frag as well. Truth gets rid of Rusty, and Marselius and Dennis are coming through towards the mini area. Zero gets a kill onto Gruss. But how fast and strong are they? Dennis gets rid of Mezzi, and now they're going to just completely surround that site. But Zero goes massive. Now it's all on Truth versus Zero. Zero is pretty low, needs the headshot close range to edge it out. He's just playing ring around the Rosy perfectly. Bomb is ticking down, and he even wins it out. Zero with the hero play. 4 kills right there. Absolute beast mode to keep his team in the game.
GAMERLEGION utilizing what I like to call the hungry birds defense of the bomb there. Everybody just sat down looking up at heaven and waiting for the kills to be dropped into their mouths. It does work out just about thanks to that play from Zero, and now they're going to try and convert a quick one with 3 MAC-10s and 2 rifles supporting them. It's actually an APEKS force buy, which you don't normally see from them in these second round scenarios, and the flashbang has really done AKS dirty here. I'm surprised he stays alive for as long as he does, to be honest with you, but that A bomb site has been overwhelmed now by GAMERLEGION. The second round has gone their way. APEKS need to fall back and look for the eco, unless they do something crazy like drop the bomb and convert another kill. Dennis is still alive with a Galil and a flashbang. There's a scout in the garage, or in mini rather, to help him out as well. They're all armored heads that he's firing against, but he can get tags out, Marcelius. The scout can find damage, but that kill there, Rusty finds it, leaves Dennis alone now with a Galil and only a minute left on the clock.
Now, what can he really do? He's just going to save that Galil into the next round. I assume the bomb still is going to go down, but he's down to 13 HP. They planted it at B as well, so there should be not a single slim of hope for him to turn that one in his favor. But if he keeps that Deagle and his Galil alive into the next, he can at least drop the Deagle to an ally and then wield that Galil himself to possibly get some more economic damage dealt to the GAMERLEGION squad.
And you might have thought there, why on earth did Dennis just run up all the way through that ladder and jump off the hut just to watch the lobby door? The answer to that question is he was a bit panicked as to the players that were watching him from the squeaky angle. Didn't want to have to expose himself from that corridor while he wrapped around, so went upstairs and took the damage instead. That's the Galil saved forward, but it's still a 9th round on the board for GAMERLEGION. Now, against Illumina, this is where they stopped scoring, but against Illumina, they were up against a full buy in round number 18. APEKS are probably going to want to be saving through it, as there's another technical pause coming through at the moment. I'm going to be curious to see what the issue is this time, but GAMERLEGION, they should be able to get at least double digits on the board here. I can't see a world in which APEKS invest too significantly into the round, and with these MAC-10s and MP9s on the board, I can quite feasibly see some bonus cash going to the Ts.
Yeah, I definitely can expect that as well. Just rushing them down, of course, trying to dodge Dennis, because that Galil can really tear your face off. Gruss is picking up the Zeus, see if he can get himself a kill. Gruss and Akaz a little bit lackluster on the APEKS side, whereas on GAMERLEGION, it's actually only Adam struggling behind at the moment. So they are very close in score between the two sides, but they have one more player alive on GAMERLEGION that really does step up to the plate, or at least frag-wise does do his duties. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, it probably comes down to GAMERLEGION ecoing a couple more rounds in the previous side. But look at those odds from our partners at LootBet. They do still favor APEKS, even though the round advantage lies in favor of GAMERLEGION, and they have a buy into this one as well. But that technical pause right now is technical pause is now over, and we're back into the game. Let's see what APEKS can do on their defensive end with barely any weapons. We have seen GAMERLEGION with USPs almost clutch it out to turn the round around, and let's see if APEKS can do the same.
Well, interestingly enough, GAMERLEGION, the last 5 times that they've played on Nuke, they've needed Well, the last 5 times they've played on Nuke, the most rounds that they've gotten is 6 on the T side, and that was the only one that they won. Cross has got the first Zeus kill I've seen in a long while. Always good to see those working out. But yeah, my point more was that after GAMERLEGION convert this pistol in the following 3, they'll be up on 10. Their last win on Nuke, they needed 6 on the T side to do it. And that was the strongest T side performance they've had in something like their last 4 or 5 matches.
Yep, and that is not a great statistic coming through. But I do have to say one important thing. That was also the first Zeus kill I have seen in pretty much the entirety of my Malta vibes cast so far. Truth does get a nice kill coming through. Zero needs to be careful not to be the one peeking into Truth, of course, because he is down to 26 HP and a body tag is enough to kill him off. Dennis Jiggle peeking in fence. Ooh. Does get the kill onto Rusty, and Truth gets rid of Zero. Now the last player is stuck in heaven. They can go for the defuse. Dennis even shuts him out, and how, Protalis? How just bro.
Thieves, Nordic thieves, and they've stolen a round, and they maybe even have stolen the hopes of dreams of GAMERLEGION. I wouldn't quite go that far yet, as Mezzy and Zero still have hefty cash reserves in the bank, but that was a round that APEKS had no rights to win.
A great showing right there. The last 2 players alive managed to turn that one in their favor, and just absolutely big for APEKS. I mean, those 1.5 odds look pretty decent right now. Marcellus is going to be picking up the op, and what strat is GAMERLEGION going to go for on a full buy round? Marcellus running quickly towards Secret. Dennis getting the opening kill onto Rusty, and that's not looking too great now for the GAMERLEGION side. Truth again towards second fence. The Molly on site is going to force APEKS off the angle. That just saves his life falling back in time, but Era gets the catch onto Dennis, and now it's a 4-on-4 situation up in heaven. A lot of damage being dealt, but again, trading 1-for-1 coming through. Ezzy outside, dangerous player coming through, but down below we do have Adam towards the B bomb site. Crust luckily chimes in long range with that scope, and ramp has been pretty much cleared out by GAMERLEGION, but they are both there. And do they expect B to be clear? What is going to be their plan of attack? Adam still has the Mac 10. Zero does have an 8K, but they are up against 3 rifle players. And with that glass breaking down below, that should give some intel to this APEKS defense. Jumping down the vent, it's going to be Adam getting the first kill, but will he get the second as well? Truth is actually jumping back on top, and that is a really weird call to make for Truth. Now they managed to shut him down. Zero gets the kill there. They are pretty low in HP, but Gruss has to clutch it out 1v2. I mean, going up fence just to drop down again is a strange move, in my opinion. And now Zero gets the final hit on Gruss. It's a very weird defensive round from APEKS in the end there, and it is going to be GAMERLEGION getting away with that one. Now APEKS have to decide, are they going to force up or are they going to eco? They are buying a couple of upgraded pistols and the FAMA, see if they can turn one around in their favor again, but that one was a little bit disastrous.
I can only assume that they're trying to bait out the position change. When he goes up the vents there, he's trying to get GAMERLEGION to change their angles and then come back down the same way and catch them off guard, but the sound cue does get given away there. Or maybe he goes up the ladder and realizes, actually, there's not enough time for me to go anywhere else. I have to go back down and try to contend this gunfight. Either way, the mistake results in a GAMERLEGION victory, and they are very close to hitting that 6-round scoreline that we so often call necessary. But the issue is they have not scored enough CT rounds to justify that. They need to get 6 more in this half to hit that magical 16 and take us on to a map 3. APEKS trying to deny in this round with the Deagles, but this isn't their focus. The next round is when they'll have the money, and the next round they'll look better to start winning some rounds. But Marcellus has already taken an early Deagle headshot in his favor. Dennis has taken damage, And Marselius has been cleaned away by Rusty's Mac 10 now. They know there's another low HP Deagle lurking around outside, so they are paranoid about that prospect. But look at the time factor. So much time has been eaten up by APEKS just from a single trade outside. GAMERLEGION are now going to try and execute with 30 seconds left on the clock, and there's still an armored FAMAS in play.
But with those two opening kills, they have a chance, but they're rushing towards ramp. That's the only area that you need to be super careful. Truth had a possible lineup there, but unfortunately gets snuffed out, and it's all on APEKS 1v3. With a Deagle as his only weapon at the moment, we'll be able to upgrade most likely, depending on what the player had. I guess an AK to be secured. But yeah, this is pretty much just save the AK into the next. Don't really think that you want to go for it. He only has 6 kills at the moment, so has to get 50% of the kills that he has achieved so far in this round right now to clutch it out. So just save the AK into the next and keep that one for your team in the back pocket right there. Because the economy game is becoming a dangerous one for APEKS. You're running out of rounds to try and start to string them together. Zero will walk into APEKS though, and that will at least give some intel away. One more player close towards ramp though, and APEKS, he did hear Era step in, gets the kill as well. That is a very damaging round for GAMERLEGION as well.
Well, especially considering the Era goes down after time, I believe, there. So he's not going to get...
bomb plant.
Ah, of course, yeah, the bomb plant did go down, of course, right. So he is going to get that bonus cash coming through. Either way, though, it is damage dealing from the APEKS side, but they don't have an AWP to work with. That has seriously confused me, because Marselius has literally got $2,000 in the bank, in which he could have chose to buy an AWP, and he's a primary AWPer, and he's one of the top fraggers on the APEKS side at the moment. That is really strange for my money. I don't know why he hasn't chosen to invest here. Clearly believes that the A-bomb site's going to be attacked and that the M4 is more useful. Well, guess what, Marselius? You're absolutely right. Gruss can get one. Truth gets a headshot as well, and Era is left needing a 1-on-3 clutch. The flash is good for him to isolate Truth, but it's a 1-on-2 now for Era to pull off. He's on 100 HP, and APEKS have failed the retakes of the B-bomb site before. They have to play together this time. Playing isolated led to incredible failure for them the last time.
He is rushing towards that B bomb site. The squeak door gets opened and he just goes for the full stick. Realizes a little bit too late that they're already down below and not opening squeaky up top, and that is going to be a round for APEKS. Well, Marselius gets himself 3 kills with the M4, so the casters here stand corrected. Okay, Marselius can also frag with that one. I assume that's a misbuy right there. I just have to assume it. I'm not gonna believe that that was actually intentional to buy. Let's not buy the op. Let's buy an M4 first and then go for the full on Audi.
I can see the argument. I think the last twice that he's died is basically because he's been charged with that AWP by multiple targets, and he's hit the first one every time but then been traded out. So I think he's getting a bit frustrated at the lack of fire rate on his sniper, and he fancies a bit of an upgrade. Why not bring the auto out? Now, I'll tell you why not, because if GAMERLEGION get a hold of that bad boy, they are in serious trouble. I've also noted it's still 11-10 that APEKS are up, so APEKS need to be a little bit careful here, but they should tie up the scoreline with a victory. You really can't let that auto sniper die to a big pistol, though.
The thing is with that gun, the auto sniper, is there are a lot of things that you can wallbang with it, especially that squeaky door where you just hold left mouse button and anything that walks into a line right there is just easy pickings. Marselius.
Oh, no.
That is just unfortunate. And Mezzi, that's a nice little upgrade. He's going to toss it away off the face of the earth. Let's get rid of that disgusting junk right here, right now. Not even going to use it to try and get himself some more kills. I mean, on the T side, it's a little bit of a problematic weapon to use. Of course, as CT, you've got that. You can hold down angles and such, but on the T side, it's rather weak. Plus, GAMERLEGION, they don't expect to win this one, and you don't want to eco save attempt where you can get shut down right at the end. But that was an eco of theirs, and you know, Marselius doesn't have enough money to buy an op in this one, and that's why the that's just That's sad, but we saw what he could do with an M4. It's going to be GamerLegion on a buy as well. Let's see what their plan is, if they have any solid strats, because that A push, you know, where they got shut down, that wasn't the best plan against APEKS.
Well, it had worked previously in the half, but that was when Marcelius was on an AWP. The time he was on an M4, he was able to get 2 kills without dying, rather than get 1 kill and being traded out when he had the AWP in his hand. So it really was an adjustment there from the APEKS buy that was actually rather intelligent. You have to give them credit for it. We were confused, but they clearly weren't. That's why they get paid salaries to play Counter-Strike, and we don't, perhaps. 5 on 5 yet. Still as GamerLegion haven't really deployed much utility yet. It looks like they're going to drop some outside smokes now, though, and give that a bit of a gander. But there is obviously the Marcelius and Dennis hold still waiting out here to deal damage. Advanced positioning, not Molotoved off. It is smoked, though. They still need to check that Dennis angle. He could be good for a multi-kill if they don't peek him.
I assume they will, and oh, he still gets a multi-kill. 2 kills to his name. Nice trade-off. 1 for 2 trade. And that also gives more information. Marcelius gets rid of Era. Does get traded out by 0. But Adam is going to catch out Truth. And now it's a 2-on-2 situation. They are pushing towards that A bomb site. But the information has been gained right there. They know that the CT players are towards A. And they're going to plant the bomb quickly towards B0. Planting it. APEKS is trying to figure out how he exactly wants to head towards the B-bomb site right now, together with Gruss. I mean, the vent drop, of course, has cost them a round in the past, so he's just going to go and crawl down below. But Adam, nice angle to hold, and 0 gets rid of Gruss in the vents as expected. GamerLegion will get 12 rounds, and APEKS are going to, I assume, force behind this one to try and hold GamerLegion off getting too close.
I have to say, though, this isn't looking brilliant from the APEKS defense. They're barely clinging onto the map at the moment. GamerLegion have been a much more dominant team throughout the T side right now, and their economy has barely ever been broken. They've taken 1 or 2 ecos so far in the half. The rest of them have been full gun rounds, and gun rounds that they've been winning against APEKS. They go for the all-out rush here, and Truth at close range needs kills, has found one and dealt heavy damage, but nothing else comes through from the rest of the APEKS side. They fold to the GamerLegion attack, and Dennis at long range is only able to deal damage. The Molotov actually kills him off the back of that spray. And I think we're heading to a third map, APEKS. It's just all gone wrong on their defense, and it really isn't impressing me so far.
Nope, I did not expect that kind of performance from their CT side. Of course, it's not over just yet, but this will force them onto an eco, which you're pretty much looking at 14 to 11 most likely. Not saying that that's going to be 100% the case, because they have pretty much won a round before with 1 rifle, which was, I think, a Galil and 1 Deagle on the CT side, so it wouldn't be impossible, but it's very improbable at the moment, especially because Gruss is building that M4 and he has not had, I mean, he's on 9 kills at the moment. If it was on Marcelius or Dennis, I would have a little bit more faith for them this round, but GamerLegion, you're right, it might actually be the case that we're looking at a map number 3 coming soon.
There's 2 key factors for APEKS that are all going wrong. The first of all is that Gruss is completely missing. Adam's not got many kills for the GamerLegion side, and neither has APEKS, so that's 1 for 1, not fragging, but Gruss is the missing link in the APEKS side at the moment. He's got something like 9 frags throughout the map. I thought he was going to start to go bigger on the CT side, but he's failed to impress so far, and he is the difference. It has to be said, when you look at those scoreboards, he is the difference in terms of frags between the 2 squads. 14 to 11 down now, APEKS. Really lost control of that CT side, and to be honest, partially due to poor money management as well. The second factor that's been hitting that APEKS side, it seems like it's the leadership. The calling doesn't seem perfect at this point in time. They don't seem prepared, and in those retakes, there's a lot of second guessing going on about what routes they want to take down into the B site. They don't seem ready for the positioning a lot of the time, and they don't seem to know exactly what paths they want to take on the retake. My issues appear to be both with calling and Gruzz's fragging at the moment, and it's allowed GamerLegion away back into the series.
Dennis, Rusty does read his positioning there and will get the kill onto Dennis. And yeah, with that, it is going to be a force-up coming out from Apex. Of course, not everything that they want, because Marcellus is not going to have that op. I mean, you've got such a star-level opper, and you just don't... He doesn't have an op most of these rounds.
There was a very important round in which he did not have an AWP because he bought an auto sniper in the previous round and didn't get any kills with it. Now, it was all fun and games when the gun was coming out at the start of the half and the scores were even, but now that has really cost you because the lack of investment into the AWP has mean no AWP can be saved through the rounds because there's none on the map. Marcellus doesn't have the weapon in his hand and now is struggling to frag really with the M4. Yes, he's had I think 3 kills so far with an M4A4 in this half. One of them was a double kill in the round, but you're absolutely right. He needs to be on that sniper. The AWP is such an important tool for the CT side of Nuke, and Apex have never had one to hand.
And they need to hopefully turn this one around. Of course, if they lose this one, you're pretty much looking at the third map, which is Overpass. Adam going aggressive, almost catches Dennis off guard there. That is pretty much what we've been seeing a lot of. Great spray down from Dennis, though, gets rid of Era, and that is what they need on the CT side right now. That is the play they need. They need to get the man advantage and keep a hold of it. Of course, most crucially, they need to make sure that they do not go B, because it seems that GamerLegion have read it perfectly. Apex are atrocious at retaking that B-bomb site.
And if you're GamerLegion, you've got to have sensed that weakness at this point in time. Mixed effectiveness on A, a lot of effectiveness on B. AK's creeping forward. The longer this round goes on, the less utility is available for the Apex side, and that's been a real problem in those retakes as well. They've had no flashes to get in, no smokes to cover crucial doorways that you need to cover on the B-bomb site. Truth can open up with a kill onto Adam as well. That's double entry frags for Apex now. Marcellus, if he swings around, they are waiting for him, but the Molotov forces him out, and Rusty has taken down APEKS. Despite getting the openers round after round, Apex, they seem to fall flat in the last 50 or 40 seconds. Now the A-bomb site is under attack, and too many shots have been missed there by Dennis. This is going to be round number 15, it feels like, coming out from GamerLegion, and the Apex CT side has completely folded.
Yeah, they absolutely got crushed. They had ample opportunity, and especially in, for instance, this round, they definitely had the shot to turn it around in their favor, but their entire defense completely destroyed. It's been ages since I've seen AKAS and Gruss even frag in just in general. So I mean, AKAS I get because he's of course the IGL, but Gruss has had so many positions where he could be the difference maker, and he just does not get the job done. Apex backs against the wall. The third map is a very big possibility right now, and honestly, GamerLegion, they look pretty solid on Overpass as well, so Apex, they might be in trouble.
Oh, they certainly might. I said that if Apex could steal Mirage away, this should be an easy 2-0 for them, but they seem to have gotten far too overconfident on the CT side, expecting them to win. Bear in mind, the last time they played against GamerLegion, they lost the pistol in the following 2, and then won every other round on the CT side. So it's very likely they came into this half feeling overconfident, expecting to win against their opponents, and, well, it has to be said, those economic decisions, it feels like it's cost them the map now. Zero runs in and gets the opening headshot onto AKAS, but Dennis, he's gone big for a double USP kill. Truth is holding on with the FAMAS as well, but Era has been able to get him back with Rusty. Marcellus can keep it going, but they need 3 more on the CT side to force overtime, and GamerLegion have all the cash in the world.
Dennis rushing forward, actually rushing past one of the T's as well, which is kind of funny, to get the other 2 who were unaware of the positioning. Marcellus through the smoke gets a double, and again, it is the other 3 players doing all the work on the Apex side. This is going to be, as you said, a force up on GAMERLEGION. They do have enough for another couple of rounds. I would not say that they probably don't have enough for the last one. I think they should be able to buy one more, and then the last one might be a little bit scrappy depending on how they survive it. But APEKS, they need to win 3 straight in a row, and otherwise that Mirage is very likely. They need to hit that overtime, and if they hit overtime, I think APEKS has it, just because Marcellus will be able to pick up an op.
Well, that's if they manage their economy properly. He would have been able to pick up an orb in this map, but they've just fluffed the money too often. It feels like they stretch themselves too far, but in this round, it's working out with the rifles. Double opener, make that a triple as Marcellus opens up onto Adam. And this is looking like 13 rounds to APEKS. But in the majority of their buys on the CT side, it really did feel like, let's say 10 out of 10 is a perfect buy. APEKS have 8 out of 10 of what they're looking for, and they think, it's close enough. We can get there. We can just make our skill advantage make up the next 2 points. It really not been the case for them. The fragging's starting to turn up in a better way, as APEKS, I think, are starting to focus now that they realize map 3 could be a possibility. That means another hour or so of CS tonight, boys. Perhaps they don't want to extend this series that long, so they're going to try and fight hard for overtime now. Rusty is creeping his way into that B-bomb site. I don't think there's anybody down here to defend against him, but Mezzi could still make a huge mess in Garage right now. As the flanking player, APEKS have been dismantled by these flanks time and time again.
That's just the CT communication being been a little bit lackluster. Mezzi still going pretty far, but with Rusty making so much sound, he has the bomb in hand. The bomb has not gone down just yet. And Mezzi, will he get that big double that he's looking for? There is another player nearby, and Mezzi gets the kill onto Dennis, but he probably does not expect a second one in Gruss, and finally Gruss gets himself a very important kill to secure the round win. Marcellus jumping around the corner right there, willy-nilly will be taken down, but at least Gruss chimes in with the second, and that is going to be APEKS only 2 away from OT. And yeah, the money situation on GAMERLEGION, it's starting to dwindle. They are going to call a tactical pause because they have been overwhelmed, but just pretty much Dennis spraying through the smoke and destroying everyone.
Deciding he wants to get kills and then following through on this map. 15 to 13. 2 more rounds needed for APEKS to force overtime, and GAMERLEGION, the buy should be coming through in the next, well, it's obviously going to come through in the next round regardless, but it should just be good enough. They might be stretched utility wise. Adam may have to drop down to a Galil or a Mac 10, but with a loss here, GAMERLEGION can still get buys on the board. 5 AKs up against 2 AKs, 2 M4s, and an auto shotgun. Truth needs to find the impactful angle on that weapon. It's so vital that he can accomplish kills in this round, as all the work at the moment is being done by Dennis and Marcellus. 2 rounds needed to stay alive on Nuke, and the first of those being fought for here in number 29.
Truth XM close range. It's not really the weapon that you want to see when you're looking at that the last 2 rounds that you must win at the moment, but close range can be dangerous. Rusty's gonna get the opener on Dennis, and that is not great either. This time it does not win it outside. Dennis, of course, one of the glorious champions. Truth completely flashed up and starts spraying. Does get the kill onto Adam nonetheless, and aggressively moving towards lobby. Might catch out Zero, and Era turns his back, just rushing through. I doubted it, and it seems my doubts were really unnecessary. Gets himself a triple there. A flank in towards heaven seems to be the case from Rusty, and no one is even considering it. And again, you said it, the flanks, the constant flanks, but Marcellus has bomb control at the moment. Gruss is there as well, is going to get sprayed on. And Mezzi will have to go for the reload. But that gives away information to Rusty that he's in there. It's going to be Gruss getting the kill onto Rusty, and Marcelius is going to defend that bomb. Mezzi, 27 HP, needs the quick headshot on Marcelius to try and win this out, but he's just going to go for the save. Ooh. And Marcelius even sprays him through the smoke, through the door headshot. Okay. That's like, unless, if it was a no-scope with the op, he had literally all the symbols.
Just one missing on that one, but it's one away now from overtime. Apex, they've turned it up a notch and started taking things seriously here on Nuke, and GAMERLEGION, they've let them do it to a degree. Now they have to get the AKs out. They've got to get the guns out to try and deny overtime and force us on to a map 3. AWP is finally on the board for the CT side. Marcelius has it to hand. But Adam, he's had to drop down onto a Mac 10 already. And Zero, he's not invested yet in this round. I hope there's a dropped AK out for him. Or he might have to go SMG only as well.
They're calling themselves... Well, that's his technical pause coming through. Of course, no idea at the moment what is going on. But that probably is, you know, Dennis... constantly dropping water on his keyboard and his desk. The man has a drinking problem, and that is, water is too tough for him right there. But luckily, normally this shouldn't take too long. However, these pauses tend to be followed by T-side immediate aggression.
Yeah.
And that is what Apex need to be very wary of right now, that it's not just going to be a rush out towards the A site.
Especially considering a couple of players don't have much utility as well. Truth and Dennis. If they're going to be playing in the A-bomb site and that rush comes through, that is not enough utility to deal with it. You've got to dump like probably 3 at minimum flashbangs into the A site just to keep the T's blind on the way in, or just through sheer force of numbers. They're going to start tapping angles away one by one. This is it then, ladies and gentlemen. The final round of regulation time here on Nuke. Apex fighting to force us into overtime. GAMERLEGION fighting to force us on to a third map. Guns out for either side. AKs, M4s, and AWPs for the CTs. AKs, Galil, and Mac 10 for the Ts. Outside control being sought by Rusty immediately as his team all look to follow him up, going straight into secret and trying to get early into those B tunnels. No kills come through to deny, and Marcelius only lands the tag there onto Adam. That means he can't safely reposition into the site, and Gruss needs to go big. Gets a single headshot and is still paranoid now, Marcelius, about Adam pushing in from behind. But this B site is under the control of the T's. Era taken down by Dennis. That saves Marcelius as Dennis goes in big for another headshot. 2 on 4 now for Zero to swing out. Look for 2 when he gets them. 39 and 21 HP for GAMERLEGION to defend this bomb. AKES and Truth moving in. HE and Flashbang to utilize, but 4 flashes up on the T side. They are just going to be sitting and waiting for the pushes. Flash goes through. The bomb needs to be stuck at this point. AKES has to get on it. He's going to stick it, and he can't get it done. GAMERLEGION and Zero aces it in the last round of regulation, and GAMERLEGION take us to overpass. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. Well, Apex had every opportunity to 2-0 that series, and with an 8-7 finish to the T side of Nuke, they should have closed it out on their CT side. Unfortunately, they let it slip through their fingers and allowed GAMERLEGION to come back into this series. Now heading into Overpass, it is anybody's game in the third and final decider match, with the loser being eliminated and the winner advancing to the playoffs. My name is Protalis, and talking you through this last map with me is DK Truman. How are you feeling?
Well, after that performance right there from Apex, just a little bit disappointed in them, especially their economic game has just been problematic for them altogether. As we talked about it, they just didn't get an op from Marcelius, and that really did hurt them on the CT side. Just that one more eco, just a little bit more economic game, getting him that preferred gun. I mean, you know, the auto sniper is all fun and nice, but it just doesn't get the same thing done as a quick flick of the op.
Well, I think they invested $5,000 into that auto sniper for it to yield one kill and then just be removed. So they basically $5,000 a light on that round, and they made plenty of mistakes on that CT side. Don't get me wrong, but they need to put those in the back of their minds and look ahead now to Overpass, our last map of the day, with it all up in the air. Who do you have edging out this one?
Well, statistically speaking, it would be GAMERLEGION. Of course, if you check out the HLTV scores, but not meaning that Apex is weak on the map, all things considered. They've had some decent performances. They've taken down Dignitas, got Force all the way to the end. I mean, the teams that they've been facing on this map have been some pretty big teams. Not saying that their opponents have had weak opponents to deal with on this map either. They've taken down alternate attacks, Hard Legion, fought against Nordavind, and well, they kind of got destroyed by Simon. But I actually do, with the recent games in mind and the scores coming through, slightly give the edge to Apex here, especially also with, of course, they normally should have the aim advantage.
And it did feel like they had the aim advantage in that last map. It just felt like they threw it away with poor economic decisions. As soon as they got to map point down, they started turning up and dominating. And now we can talk about the odds from our partner over at LootBet. They seem to think it's very balanced, with a slight edge going the way of Apex. And I mean, those are fairly agreeable.
Yeah, I would definitely say that as well. It is a solid slight advantage there, and starting on the CT side, especially on this map, nets you a little bit more advantage. Of course, the rotations between A and B are very quick compared to a lot of maps, and that's why it still does slightly favor the CT side, but it's not like it's completely only the CT side. They can definitely overwhelm the CTs on this map with a good smoke execution, for instance, towards that B bomb side with mollies. Same with A, but normally B is more the preferred site to siege. However, in this case, it does seem that they are looking to hit that A bomb site, or at least pressure it at the start. Dennis, close range. Akaz with the flash coming through is gonna get them possibly blinded up. He gets the first kill, deals a lot of damage to the rest, but Akaz chiming in with a couple of taps. Long is being pushed at the moment, and he has his back turned towards Messi, but still manages to get the big headshot in. Marceli's strafe headshot as well, and it's all on zero. The man who did manage to get a 1v4 in the previous map to finish it off gets himself a double right now, but it's problematic if they're gonna double peek you at the same time. Got a little bit dangerous there. He could have gotten the headshot on Marcelius with an amazing flick, but nonetheless, Apex do open up this round, this map, with the first round in their favor.
No force coming through from the GAMERLEGION squad by the looks of things then, so it is very likely that they are going to go 2-0 up on the Apex squad. As I mean, Zero and Adam, well, Zero in particular has plenty of cash in the bank to go for a buy. Adam and Era are on over 2k as well, so You can see the justification for the investment, but it's similar justification to Apex in that they can just get rifles out in a couple of flashes. And I have to say that doesn't look like the right strategy in my mind. On a map like Overpass, you need to be fairly perfect with your understanding and your tactical read of CT positioning to get away with not having much utility in a round. And well, the Glocks are getting cleaned up in this one. The AKs will come out in the next, but I would really like to see a player or two drop down onto a Galil or a Mac-10 if they can't get the full nades that they'd like.
Yeah, it's you definitely want to see that. They're actually even gonna go for the glass cannon op on Arrow without any utility behind it. I mean, the rest of the players actually get pretty solid utility. Arrow is a danger factor here, which they might not expect on the Apex side, the op this early on. Will it pay off though? Of course, they are going to go for the quad boost, sorry, to try and peek over, but no one is peeking that angle, and that is an attempted boost, which is always nice and cheeky, but it's not going to result in anything just yet, or should not at least. There is Marselius rotating towards that B bomb site. Does need to be careful if he's going to peek Heaven, but he's going to fall back, and it seems they are going to continue their push forward. But as you know, that takes so much time off the clock and doesn't give them any any positional advantage, whereas Connector is just completely held by Apex.
Minute off the clock, but GAMERLEGION are just walking into B, no utility deployed whatsoever, and that is a real blunder from the Apex side. They have heavily overcommitted into Connector now, holding on this defense, and GAMERLEGION have literally just walked into the B bomb site. AKS didn't even spot anyone out on his peek past the sandbag, so he's just going to get smoked off. There is nothing he can do about this. Apex just gave the bomb site away for free with a very weird Connector play. AKS has gotten one kill back, and Era returns onto Grush. The bomb hasn't actually been planted yet as the result of that AKS kill, but now it's going to be freely secured, and Apex, I think they might just need to back out of this one if they don't get a kill on this boost.
Yeah, this was, I mean, I don't even think that you should do the boost right now. It's just fall back and try and keep your weapons alive. But slow, they completely dodged all the lasers right there and outdone him in a pretty, I mean, it's a simple strategy, but you still need like everything in your favor. Apex went for the aggressive Connector hold, and they just did not defend that B bomb site whatsoever without any utility deployed. So all in all, a great round coming out from their opponents from the GAMERLEGION squad, and that is rather disastrous to lose a round like that.
Well, they can bring the buy out with the saved weapons, but it is certainly not as strong as the buy of GAMERLEGION. I think I do agree with your point at the start of the map. Despite GAMERLEGION having the better win percent, it does appear to be against a lower caliber of team, and a lot of those wins are a long time ago. So Apex should have the slight edge here, but I mean, I don't like this boost play at all. It eats so much time, and you barely ever find a kill with it on the T side. Sometimes it can be good for a freebie, but it's so commonly read now by the CTs that they barely ever play a Heaven player that aggressively so early on in the round. They'll just have the AWP sit far back and then come forward if the riflers call it, or they'll just have the AWP watch a close angle on A so it plays the quick rotation into Heaven. And it means for GAMERLEGION that they spend 30 seconds of the round doing nothing, and now that there's utility on the board for the Apex side, they can lock them out of B. With a minute left on the clock, now they're choosing to change directions, it looks like, or at least throw utility into the B bomb site, but there's a massive flank on the way from Marselius. He's going to line up all four Ts. So aggressive on that FAMAS, no one's turned around until Marselius takes them all down. And Rusty left in a 1 versus 4 scenario. Too slow off the mark for GAMERLEGION on that one, and they were not expecting the Apex aggression.
That's exactly what happens if you go for that boost. You just lose so much map control. Normally, I mean, in the previous round, Apex did not get aggressive anywhere on the map, and that did them in. But this round, they had Marcelius flanking all the way around from long. And that is something that GamerLegion did not see coming. But it is a big risk that you're taking with such a huge commitment to try and get a catch, and massive flank coming out. Beautiful stuff from Marcelius. Gets a third one as well, which definitely could have been picked up by Era, but all things considered, Apex, massive engagement, good round to win. Not an op saved though, even though it was definitely in save distance. But it is going to be a GamerLegion semi-forcing behind it. Don't really know if they have enough money for full utility into the next round because of it, but it should still be a reasonable chance here for Apex to defend it, especially with no good utility on GamerLegion, just one flash to try and brute force their way in.
APEKS spots out the first player, and that's why you rarely get away with walking into the B-bomb site for free. GamerLegion get one of those per map, really. APEKS won't be making the same mistake twice. Zero opens up and actually does find a headshot as well. Dennis can convert in the late instance, but that is APEKS down at bare minimum in the B-bomb site. They're trying to go for a boost up over to convert another kill now. They're just waiting for the timing on when to pop their heads up. Up it goes. Dennis has seen it, but not quick enough on the draw. Rusty takes him down and leaves them in a 3-on-3 scenario with no body armor. That's about the only way the AK could have wanted to find a free kill. Now there are two of them on the board, and if Era can bait successfully with that Glock, they might be able to draw the attention of Gross away for long enough to get the bomb down.
It's gonna be Gross with the kill right there on the defense. Marcelius is holding the push from short, but they're not really 100% sure that it is gonna be take, and they're not even going to get the bomb plant in because they just get straight up out-dueled. They will have a buy into this round though. GamerLegion did do a decent amount of damage, but is Era going to pick up the big green stick again? It did not wield that much result in the previous round, but it is his call at the moment.
5 rifles versus 4 AKs and an AWP. 7 kills so far in the map for Marcelius, looking to deploy an aggressive nade. Does chip damage, and now he needs to follow up with kills. 2 actually secured by Dennis as the follow-up man on that engagement. That is the early run out, totally denied from GamerLegion. And you can almost see from the APEKS CT side, this is how things were supposed to be going on Nuke, but they just couldn't get anything going on that map. So now they're taking the aggression to GamerLegion on overpass. Nade going out, could find Era, just gets away from it and switches to the AK, but there are HEs going out all over the place like it's World War I. 5-1 up go APEKS to GamerLegion. Probably going to want to take an eco here. It should be a 6-1 lead from the APEKS side.
Era just tossed that op out of the map so that they would not be able to save an op from Marcelius. And, well, that's Marcelius probably... Actually, honestly, he should just go for the PP Bison at this point. Oh, he gets an op dropped. Not the best round to drop your teammate an op. Of course, he's up against a semi-force. Not great. Pistols, close range. Could be pretty problematic, especially if you drop it. But we'll see how APEKS is going to run this one to try and secure themselves their 6th on the board. Radon coming out, but they wait for that reload to happen. Blindly, they manage to get 2 kills. But it gets traded out, and it's all on a 2v2 right now. They do have AKs in hand, and they have a solid shot at taking them down, though. Truth needs to be very careful. A headshot will be enough. Wallbang is just off the mark, and the molly is not really going to work because, of course, the site is smoked off, and Zero inside the smoke catch. Marcelli is not expecting him to be that close. Truth now pushing forward is going to get shut down by Rusty, and GamerLegion off of a just lackluster by. One flash is all they need to destroy that site.
Now we have the opportunity to talk about our case partners over at Hellcase. If you use the promo codes MaltaV and MaltaV15, you can save more and grab what you deserve. It looks as though retaking is the key issue to the Apex CT side. Their retakes look very uninspired. 2-on-2 scenario then against AKs, and all Apex try and do is walk two men down the same channel of attack. They both get headshot after waiting too long. It doesn't look like they have many ideas about how to retake bomb sites on the defensive halves of their maps. It was something that they struggled with greatly on Nuke, and perhaps that is a breath of fresh air for GAMERLEGION. If they can break through the defenses and get that bomb down, their chances of winning a round go up massively.
And yeah, you're right on that one. We definitely saw it on that B bomb site of Nuke way too many times. Just the retakes were not available. Truth seems to have been AFK for a little bit too long there, but it's a heavy move from Apex towards that B bomb site, which they're afraid to lose. Marselius does rebuy that op into this round, so we are going to get the op v op battle possibility. But even if GAMERLEGION lose this one with that loss round bonus, if they get a plant, they definitely should have a decent enough buy into the next. Of course, because they did win a semi-buy, and that's not what Apex want to see. They just want to keep that GAMERLEGION economy at bay. Long A is being pushed in. Era is holding the angle, so if the peak comes, oh, that was just absolute perfect timing. Luckily, for Era, Truth does not get the kill secured, and they will fall back, but they did manage to get themselves some information here on the Apex side.
50 seconds left though, and they need to turn that information into map control now. 3 players in the B-bomb site, not quite ready to rotate over. Gruss is thinking about it, but he's not going anywhere for the moment. Truth needs the biggie there it is, needs the third, well, doesn't really need it, would like it, and Mezzi denies at bare minimum. Marselius is still here with an AWP, but Mezzi is waiting for Era to peak before going forward. Marselius lands that shot though, and Gruss can take Era down from the rear. 6-2 up our Apex as they win 75% of the first 8 rounds. In the first half of the first half, as we go forward, the GAMERLEGION side look like they're taking an eco here to allow Apex up on to 7, and it's looking very likely that the CTs are going to be the side ahead at the end of halftime.
Yeah, it definitely does look that way. We're going to get a rather scrappy semi-buy on GAMERLEGION, but it looks like they're going to go for the all-out B rush. I see a lot of utility flying in zero with the MAC-10 close range rushing through. The Molly is trying to find a player towards short, but Akaz gets a double spray down, and it should pretty much be secured defensively nicely. Dennis close range will catch out Era in the end, and that is going to be 7-2 in favor of Apex. GAMERLEGION absolutely getting nothing done on their T side here.
There have been isolated rounds, but it's been a lot less effective than their T side of Nuke was. That much is for sure. AWP in the hands of Marselius. This time Era has it to hand as well. Not quite been as effective as his counterparts so far, but there is still time for Era to wake up and start fragging in this half. Bounty control taken early by the GAMERLEGION squad, and Marselius is not ticking around to see who fancies peeking into his crosshairs. And he knows the potential of Era's AWP fragging him out is too great there. Era's actually down in connector waiting for aggression at the moment, and just off the back of these flashes, Marselius knows he really doesn't want to give that AWP away while looking for the opening kill. They'll send Truth up far instead to hold the toilets and leave his AWP more passive. 45 seconds gone off the clock again. GAMERLEGION slowly taking map control, but they're actually going to back all the way out of Fountain at the same time as Zero gets taken down on B. I think he thought there might have been a bit of a free sight going on there. Either way, he's removed from the round. And GAMERLEGION, they've changed targets with a rotator of Dennis already on his way down to the bomb site. This is going to be a difficult attack.
Let's see if they will be able to turn this one in their favor, of course. Molly towards B short and just a heavy stack towards B in general. They are going to try and crawl their way through the smoke. APEKS trying to dodge the flash, doesn't dodge it, and unfortunately gets the timing incorrectly. Gruss with low HP is playing headshot angles, will get one, but will get done in return. Dennis is still in water, waiting for Adam to peek him. Gets the kill and tries to spray through to get rid of Era, and eventually does get the kill through wallbang nonetheless. But it is going to be 8-2 in favor of APEKS. Great defense coming out. I mean, that's what they're good on. They're good on defending, not good on retaking.
8-2 up now. The lead grows. GAMERLEGION, they're going to call a timeout to try and stabilize here in the first half. Not many rounds left to play. 5 more to go, including this one. And that is your T side over. Yes, it is their weaker half of the map for GAMERLEGION, but still they'd like to put some rounds up on the board if they can. I'd say that Overpass is the CT-sided map, but more to the 9-6 affair. You know, anything of more than that point, really. It's a fairly balanced map, is my argument. Not quite as CT-sided as a Nuke or a Train, but not quite as balanced as a Mirage or as T-sided as a Dust 2. So GAMERLEGION, they can get a decent number of rounds on the board. 6, it's fairly decent. They'd obviously be hoping for 7, but winning all 5 of the next upcoming rounds is very unlikely. So 6 rounds is a decent goal to have in mind. If they end up with 4 or 5, it's not impossible, but it is going to be very difficult, and they are going to need that second round pistol.
That second round pistol, you're gonna need a little bit more, I think. I mean, APEKS is looking really solid right now, even on their T side. They might just overwhelm GAMERLEGION. They were really good on their T side, at least on Nuke, and Nuke is a lot harder to get a good T side going than on a map like Overpass, where everyone knows most of the smokes, mollies and stuff to try and flush out the site. But yeah, we are now back in the game. Marcellus on the op. Era does not have a counterpart into this round, but GAMERLEGION, they did manage to get the bomb plant in, so that at least gave them another buy. However, not full utility on everyone just yet.
Reaping up connector into the crossfire. That's where they're headed. Flashbang out. Marcellus misses the shot. Truth can't do anything on the crossfire. That is an uncharacteristic setup from APEKS. It completely fails, but Dennis can at least bail out for a single kill. Era, that is a perfect pre-fire. Headshot found. Adam's close left, Marcellus. You heard him jump up there. Why on earth did you not look left? A very weird mistake from the CT AWPer now as Era finds another headshot on the way in. APEKS is going to try and defend, but it's Era all day, baby. 3 kills for him. Adam gets a couple of cleanups, but that's the 3rd round for GAMERLEGION now secured. APEKS actually have to take a pistol armor buy off the back of that as their economy's not secure, so the gap appears to be narrowing to 4 at the end of this next round.
Well, that is if the Deagles don't get the headshots, but I am definitely expecting a APEKS shutdown coming through onto this one. I'm just always terrified of Deagles, especially if Dennis has one in his hands. He should be pretty solid in that regard, but the big problem, the biggest of them all right now, is the fact that GAMERLEGION's pretty much highest rated player on their team, Mezzy, is only on 2 frags at the moment, just not feeling Overpass, and he is he's the one that needs to keep leading his team forward. They need him to carry him.
Mezzy, he went missing on Nuke against Illuminar as well. And that one was a 16-9 loss for the GAMERLEGION squad. Perhaps he is a very important part of their fragging. Only on 2 at the moment, but an opportunity to increase those numbers with some anti-eco kills in this round. It's just slow advancement from the GAMERLEGION squad. They don't want to risk those heads being scalped by the deagles, the shots coming through, walking into a spam stack. So many chances for it all to go wrong. And APEKS, they need it all to go right for those deagles to have maximum effectiveness. The GAMERLEGION T side is a relatively slow one on the majority of occasions, rarely executing towards a bomb site before there are sort of 40 or 30 seconds left on the clock. Truth is facing the wrong way, but Russ has actually opened up with a shot through the door. That's given Truth enough time to turn around and take down Adam. So the connector stack of those deagles works out brilliantly. Two armored players upgrading onto AK-47s now, and this defense gets a hell of a lot deadlier, especially with Dennis finding that shot.
Oh my God, read it like a book. It's yeah, this is pretty much what you kind of can see happening. APEKS, they lose a round and then turn it around with pistols. We see, I mean, I'm just curious on how many pistol conversions we have seen so far. Of course, it's not over yet. Rusty might get the catch here onto Dennis, and a great catch indeed. B bomb side, the A bomb site has been gifted away. It is going to be Truth and Gruss both on an AK and body armor, so definitely very doable. But look at this. This is a retake situation. Will they be able to get anything done in this one, or will it again be a shutout for GAMERLEGION's defensive side? First kill for Gruss. Does expect Zero to be there as well. Will spot him out, and that's going to give all the intel to Truth to get towards the bomb site. The bomb is planted for bank or jump up, and Truth has to hurry up because the time is ticking down, and him rushing the steps there is going to mean that the round is over. Trying to save his AK into the next. Truth is actually trying to catch him out right there, but sorry, Zero, but you won't catch Truth in the end. He will manage to save the AK into the next one. But a lot of damage has been dealt, of course, to GAMERLEGION.
That one was just about as close as you could get for an eco round to a victory. And you've got to say, fair play to APEKS for that one, because they only brought deagles into the round. They left it with an AK and took down 4 players, nearly won out that clutch scenario. If they didn't have the presence of mind to check Dennis's positioning, he probably would have had a free kill on that deagle. Then it's a very different retake for the APEKS side. But bygones must be bygones. GAMERLEGION claimed control of the round prior, which means they have the better weapons in this one despite losing 4 men. No WP available for the APEKS side, and it's GAMERLEGION slowly making their way up a long at the moment.
And well, with that, it does pretty much look like a possible conversion still for APEKS. Of course, the economy for GAMERLEGION is not that great. They are crawling up along. No ops on the CT side, and Truth might be completely caught in a sticky situation here. It's actually going to aggress past the smoke. Very dangerous and completely blinded, and that's why it's very dangerous, because of course if you don't dodge the flash right there, you are completely out in the open and a sitting duck.
A bomb site about to be attacked with just over 20 seconds left on the clock. A plant looking very likely from the T side, especially considering Marcelius had no idea about that peek from Zero. 3 players left for the CT side. They should just bail away at this point. There is no opportunity for them to retake. And they are going to do just that. Take the rifles out, save them forward to the next round, allow GAMERLEGION up to 5. And keep trying to fight, I suppose. 10-5 now, the best possible scoreline for APEKS as they slow down immensely towards the later stages of the first half.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice one indeed coming through. Again, this time GAMERLEGION starting to rack up some rounds on their T side, and they managed to get to 7. I definitely think that they have a solid chance on their defensive end.
Well, we will have to see. 5 rounds on the board for Gamerlegion now. 2 left to be played in this half. Which way shall they go? That is the question. No AWPs by the looks of things available. Although APEKS is going to drop a scout. I mean, that is certainly not the same thing whatsoever. But Marcelius is going to be trying to make work with what he can, looking for those headshots with the scout. Instead, he's actually going to take no nade damage from his teammate. Just about gets to dodge it. And Truth pushing forward. Dennis has already been removed from the round, so Marcelius is going to upgrade onto his M4A4, and they'll play this one from a deficit, but it's Gamerlegion out ahead again on their T side.
It is a 4 versus 5 situation, and APEKS, their defensive side just looks lost at the moment. Dennis trying to go for that aggression, and Gamerlegion just completely read it and slowly crawling their way towards that B bomb site, where they've had mixed results in previous rounds, but they're definitely looking for that take. Nonetheless, they are going to push aggressively with Truth towards long A, playing around the big rock, and might go for the 3-player B bomb site hold, and that might be the right call here, because it does seem that they're going to go for an aggressive monster push. APEKS right behind the smoke as well, will get his head chopped off by Zero, and they just again going for the dry peek, which pays off so far. They chime in with a couple of kills. Marcelius has to go massive here, gets 1, needs to find 2, and then he should be in a pretty Gucci position. Gets 2 as expected, and the op shot misses from Era. Marcelius triple kill to defend the B bomb site. The bomb is in hands of Era, but he does not know that he's being flanked right now all the way from monsters. Ted's gonna get spotted out by Marcelius. 4K for the opera, and just a ridiculous round in their favor.
Well, that's a 9 secured at bare minimum, and Truth should be dropping that sniper over to Marcelius. I'll be baffled if that doesn't occur, as he's really done a lot of work to defend the B bomb site there. That looked like a secured round from Gamerlegion until Marcelius turned up and started going big. 9 rounds then on the CT side for APEKS, and they'll be looking to make it double digits at the death of the half, up against a full battalion of AKs. No AWP following them up, as Truth is actually the one using that sniper rifle. Incredible. They just don't want to give Marcelius an AWP for some reason. Maybe it's because he got a better connector spawn in this round, but still, he stood right next to Marcelius right now. They could be trading the AWP at any point in time, and Marcelius is sticking on that M4.
And Marcelius is... well, after that round, I wouldn't blame him. He, of course, had a pretty good performance there. Dennis is now peeking out towards long A. Doesn't spot anyone out, but might be on a massive flank coming through on these players. No, I don't really think that they'll be checking their back as much, because who expects this big flank to come through? Does not spot a player just yet, but it is gonna be that a bomb site attack coming through. He needs to make sure that he does make a step, of course, and Dennis spots out the back of Rusty. That's the bomb down. Truth does know that there's another one toilet, but does Dennis expect the player long flank onto him? Mezzi will get the kill right there. Bomb still under control of Gamerlegion. 1 player of APEKS in B short, and Era is gonna... wow, okay, that was just what, 2 taps?
Summary execution there from APEKS, as it's enough to secure double digits for APEKS on the CT side of Overpass. But it is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen Gamerlegion pull off comebacks before today. Can they carry on Overpass? Zero, the only man on the Gamerlegion squad above 10 kills, and our partners over at LootBet seem to think APEKS have this one in the bag, but I mean, that's what they thought over on Nuke, and we all know how that went. If Gamerlegion can win the pistol, I have at least, I'm going to say they have a 40% chance to come back if they can convert the pistol and the following rounds cleanly enough. But that is dependent on them earning an 8-10 scoreline, or, you know, a 9-11 or something like that, with 1 round going either way.
Is going to be the opener 4-0 right there. So at least GAMERLEGION getting the opening kill. Truth will not be able to control his shots, and that is going to be GAMERLEGION with a double opener in the pistol round. APEKS, of course you want to win this pistol, but GAMERLEGION, they desperately need this pistol to give them a shot to try and turn this one in their favor. Of course, on the CT side, you slightly have a little bit more of an advantage, but as you said, more like the 9-6/8-7 kind of advantage it normally should be. The peak coming out does spot that Marcelius is peeking towards toilets, who will now fall back towards his team and try and regroup to hit that B bomb site.
"45 seconds left on the clock. And a P250 or two still to hand. They need to clear the barrels, though. If they miss that out, it's all over. In fact, Era, he's just tapping them away, still at range 0. Ahead is presented, but APEKS is quicker on the draw. Marcelius now has a Glock in his hand, but not the bomb, so he's trying to divert attention away. APEKS needs these P250 headshots more than life itself, and he'll give up his life to try and earn them. With 15 seconds left, they have to win by kills now, APEKS. A bomb plant, very unlikely, if not impossible. Marcelius is going to commit, and Rusty is going to take him down just after the bomb goes down. So this bonus cash at bare minimum for the APEKS squad, but it is a round victory for GAMERLEGION.
Yeah, at least he gets the bomb plant in, so that's something for his team. But as you said, it's well, that's all they get. But with that bomb plant, it does mean that if they eco one, they should be able to have a very solid buy into the next. I hope that they're going to do that, of course, and not force into this one immediately. But they are, of course, going to force into this one, because that's the way that CSGO works these days. You pretty much, you get the plant, you go for the force.
That appears to be the justification anyway. Try and use superior weaponry to overwhelm your opponents. It's only slight, not really even superior at this point. I suppose the AKs definitely have firepower advantages, but it's only on 2 players. They cannot afford to drop down early. And at the moment, the target is firmly that B-bomb site. APEKS on the lurk towards A, just sticking around by Fountain right now and watching for a flank, it looks like, as they're going to try and send the good weapons into the B-bomb site, waiting for some more CT utility deployment before they do it. That's the smoke that they're waiting to go down in Monster. As soon as this one has dissipated, they're probably going to look to put utility into the bomb site and find a way in.
It's gonna be very possible here with our weapons: a Galil, 2 AKs, and 2 Deagles. No armor on Dennis and AKs, of course, but they have a lot of utility still left to throw out over this, and that might catch GAMERLEGION by surprise here, especially if Rusty rotates through. There's gonna be the straight push forward, just the dry P coming in at the moment. Ray comes out, and that is gonna be Adam burning down to Truth. Peek out wide. Gruss gets another kill coming through. It's a 3-on-2 situation all of a sudden, and GAMERLEGION, they need to retake the site. Let's see if they have solid retakes on there, and Mezzi might get the spray down here if he went for it blindly. Ooh. But it is going to be Era getting the kill on Truth. However, it was after the bomb was already planted. Marcelius falls back. APEKS no armor though. That could be a very big problem for the APEKS defensive side. APEKS gets stagged as well. Molly towards short, and they have no one on Monster, so this is pretty much going to be the stick. But they spray him down through the smoke. Peek out wide coming in, and that is Marcelius just playing the 1v1 game. Should fall as well, and that is going to be APEKS dealing that one away from GAMERLEGION with the force up.
Forced by victory for APEKS, but no players survive it, so they don't have the best weaponry to bring forward, but it's a hell of a lot better than what GAMERLEGION are going to have to use. They get their saved AK, of course. A FAMAS is going to come out on the board, but it's pistols elsewhere, and now they need to win An equally as difficult round, but on the defensive side of things, with very little utility to work with at that. It looks like early fountain control looking to be taken by the Apex squad as they wait for an early peak. It's actually Era's AK thinking about that one. 1 point of damage from a HE is enough to partially deter it back into the toilets, and it's really these rifles. They need some kills here. The Deagles, supported by armor, can always get those lucky headshots, but your rifles, they need to do more than just trade out for their own lives.
Yeah, they need a lot more than that getting done. Dennis is spraying through the smoke. Has had a ridiculous amount of smoke kills so far in this series already. One player in long toilets, which is Era, who does have the AK, so might get himself a catch or two. That's,
ooh.
Oh my god, immediately gets two as well. The bomb has been spotted out and dropped. Mezzi is coming up from Connector, who might be able to catch Akaz from behind. And with that shot ringing through, they will now know his positioning. The AK has been dropped from Era. I hear a lot of typing coming through, so maybe get a pause into the next round, but it is going to be Rusty getting rid of Dennis. And now it's all on Akaz and Truth to try and 2v4 this one. They know that the A-bomb site is rather heavily defended at the moment, but how heavy do they think this defense is? Akaz getting close range, getting one, spots out two more, knows that Adam is close range, and the flank coming in does mean that Truth is going to plant it behind Truck because he does expect Mezzi right behind him, and that is a good read, but will he be able to defend? It does spot up. Oh my god, these are some nasty clean taps.
Another round that comes down to the absolute wire. One bullet in it. I mean, quite literally. Probably with the Galil, it was 2 bullets to take down Truth there, but that tap. Oh, that is disgusting on a very risky peak. He lands a very highly skilled shot. And that is 12 rounds found by Apex. They're hunting 13 down now with the SMGs. Mac 10 and your favourite PP Bison out and in the mix. It's for full-on stack of the B-bomb site for GAMERLEGION, and as of right now, Apex are not going to walk into it.
PP Bison Marcelli is one of his favourite weapons. However, the time is ticking right now for GAMERLEGION. They're looking at 13-6, and then Apex will only need 3 more rounds, whereas GAMERLEGION will need 10. And Marcellus is just using that PP Bison to farm up some cash. However, not getting the kills that he wants. Will get taken down by Era as well, but last man standing, Adam, does have 8 kills to his name, double that of Mezzi, but the fact that Mezzi's still only on 4 kills after 18 rounds, it's the big difference maker for this GAMERLEGION squad. It's just Mezzi is not on the server, might be, I guess, tired. It is getting rather late, as you can hear by my voice getting lower and lower by the minute.
It's fairly similar actually to what happened to Apex on Nuke. They had Gruss just totally go missing. Disappeared off the server. He's got 15 kills, 3rd on the team, and tied with the highest fragger from GAMERLEGION at this point in time on Overpass. But when he wasn't there and fragging on Nuke, you felt it from the Apex squad, and they actually ended up losing the map because of it. Now the rifles are out for the CT side, that much is true, but they have not got much to work with in the way of grenades. Era has to use an AUG instead of an AWP as well, and the Apex T side actually isn't that flush for cash. Despite getting relatively cleanly through that last round, they had to upgrade the SMGs onto AKs. And Dennis has chosen to keep his Galil here. So firepower actually slightly favours the CT side, but they've only got 1 smoke remaining, and that is a really big obstacle to a site defense or retake.
Yeah, it's Apex with pretty much enough for a full execute towards A or B, and they're crawling their way in. Era is going to get the aggressive peak successfully. Manages to somehow dive back into the site safely as well, and a nice little clean take from him. Definitely feel like that one should have been punished by the Apex side, but the rotations have not been called just yet from the GAMERLEGION. So if they would take this A bomb site quickly, they could really go big on them. APEKS is getting close towards site. It is Mezzy and Era defending the site, and we have talked about Mezzy just not performing at his usual pace. Luckily, there is Era to chime in for the kill. Drops the bomb on side. Gruss will get the kill onto Era, though. Now Mezzy peeking wide. Gets a headshot in on Gruss. Jiggle peeking the entire time. We'll finish off Gruss. And the flank from Rusty up connector will shut him down. Now it's all on Truth. 10 seconds left. Needs to kind of die.
Yeah.
Or save the AK into the next. And it is going to be him dying instead. 13-7. GAMERLEGION managed to take that one away after a pretty... I mean, it was not anything special from APEKS. They just didn't want to use their utility.
Yeah, they thought they could get away with just walking closer to the site than they were actually able to accomplish, and they don't deploy that utility, they lose the round. Oh dear, APEKS, don't be starting to force up again at the end of these maps. I'm getting flashbacks to Nuke with these economic decisions. They choose to pick up 3 AKs rather than saving for the utility, and they're going to try and overwhelm the B bomb site in this round. 3 defenders stacked up in and defending. APEKS, they lose this one, they're going to have to drop down onto an eco, and that's going to be 13-9 potentially to their opponents. The nades do a hell of a lot of damage, though, and Gruss has followed it up onto 0. Mezzy and Era, do they even want to go for this one? 2-on-4? Do they know the weaponry that they're up against here? Mezzy suspects a push coming through, so that makes it a 2-on-3, and one that GAMERLEGION are willing to consider. They want to stop giving rounds away, and they want to start scoring on this last map. There is no time to allow their opponents on to 14 rounds, and Mezzy, he can't find Truth at close range. That's the rifles downed, and probably actually an eco coming up on the board for the GAMERLEGION squad. They can't afford a full investment. They need to save to deny 15. Instead, they're going to force and hope for the miracle.
Yeah, it's definitely doable with their weapons. That round was a little bit unfortunate timing-wise, but they just got themselves bullied out. And now it is down to the wire. GAMERLEGION, they are only on 7 rounds at the moment. And it's not like APEKS is doing anything specifically amazing in these rounds. They are just winning the aim duels. It is looking like just straight up aim fight to try and finish this one off. The scout from Era trying to find a scalp to take, but they are just rushing A along, and that aggressive peek from 0 at least gets the kill onto Truth. Era gets the headshot onto Dennis, tag onto Gruss as well. But what an immense amount of damage dealt by Era right now, just in general from the GAMERLEGION squad. 2 players down and Gruss down to 10 HP. Marcellus might get flanked as well. There's a player inside connector. We still have APEKS towards B site, creeping himself into the B site. Gets the kill onto Adam, and that means the B site is cleared. They don't have any intel right now, but Marcellus is crawling his way towards that A site. This is just everyone slimly walking past each other, and the A-bomb site has been gifted away to the APEKS squad. This is just a ridiculous round coming through.
Oh, this round is all about the bait. Gruss has crept into bank and taken Era down quickly as well. And GAMERLEGION, they found 2 very quick opening kills, but APEKS and Gruss, with positioning alone pretty much, have been able to find a couple back. Now, Rusty finds a very important shot onto Marcellus. He's a man aggressive with an AK, but APEKS has actually spotted out 0 there. He can give that information and actually get the kill. That's one better than letting your teammate know someone's coming. You can take them down for him. Flash deployed to defend the attack, and well, they've gotten him off the bomb, and that's the objective found. 15 is going to go the way of APEKS, and Gruss is just here making sure nobody is sticking on that bomb inside the smoke. Map point to the T side, but they've harpered their own economy a little bit, losing so many players. Thankfully, Gruss and APEKS can drop rifles should they need to, but the GAMERLEGION buy, that's the one that's going to be weak because they've already forced into the last round. Now, there's no M4s available to keep them in the series and keep them in the tournament.
Yep, it's a rather tough one for GamerLegion to win, but of course if Era gets those headshots, it would be massive. I mean, problem is how many can you get in a row, because that round, the last one, was just so well played from APEKS in the end. I mean, it was of course a lot of luck, but it's still, you need to force out that luck in your favor. They get themselves the double opener on APEKS, and it's looking like it's all set and done here for GamerLegion. Backs against the wall. I mean, they're just being crushed between two massive walls at the moment, because Mezzi, Rusty, and Era, they have rather lackluster weaponry. 2 smokes, and Mezzi is still only on 7 kills at the moment. Peeks out wide, but they're playing defensively on APEKS. There's going to be smokes and flashes coming through right now. They actually threw out their execute, but that smoke came out at a perfect timing from GamerLegion. And they'll just probably wait for this next possible execute to come through, because Era with that smoke is all the way upstairs. Rusty does have a molly as well to try and keep them at bay, but yeah, the smoke thrown out, and that's going to be the second round of executes. And no counter utility on GamerLegion means they are going to have to try and win the aim duels here. It's going to be tough. The opening shot comes out, they get the first kill, and Rusty is getting a double headshot, but Cross chimes in massively for his team, and the bomb should be planted in from Marcelius. 1 scout against 2 players, but the taps come out from Marcelius, and that is it. That's all set and done. APEKS are going to go off to the playoffs, but GamerLegion, they did show a good performance.